Hey y'all. I hope you guys are having a wonderful, wonderful Sunday. As you guys can see, we have a special guest in the house. Okay. Shout out to Miss Messy Miss Shawn. Can you go ahead and introduce yourself to the people? I'm sure they already know who you are, but just in case.
I think I have an echo. You hear echo?
Yeah, there is a slight echo.
All right.
Hold on. We trying to do some things. So let's see. Are you guys in the chat? Are y'all hearing an echo?
Mute, mute.
Let me
You know
see.
what? I had an open side. It's all me. It's all me. I apologize. You know we can do this, y'all. Shout out to everybody that is here. I see you. I appreciate you on both channels. Thank you so much for having me. Of course, of course. Hopefully I can connect to the comments over here. Shout out to y'all. We're streaming on both channels. So shout out to Child, I just realized that. I mean, I knew you weren't. I knew you were nowhere near my age. Trust me, I already knew that. But I'm like, maybe I'll be your auntie instead of you being my little sister. Whatever it is that you want to be. I'm not one of those Oprah Winfrey, Gail, Ava DuVernay people. It's like, don't call me, don't call me aunt. So whatever it is, shout out to you. Thank you for having me and on a Sunday night. And hopefully we can have some good conversation and see what's up and even get to know each other better. So I'm glad to be here. Thank you so much.
Absolutely, absolutely. Ever since I started watching your streams, you have some of the most lit streams I've come across on these here YouTube streets. Like it's not just enough that you're good at hosting, but also your chat is always live. Like you got so many comedians
Best
in your
chat
chat.
on YouTube, okay? And they coming in here. Shout out to the chat. Let me tell you something. Not to cut you off, I apologize. But we've grown to that. They are half damn crazy all the damn time. And they used to have this thing where I guess it was the chat GPT before it started becoming chat GPT, where they would give you a summary of what the chat was about. Some of those summaries would be half crazy. I'm like, child, we getting demonetized. Y'all be cutting up in this chat. But yeah, they are the bomb.com. Shout out to the besties.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, this has been a long time coming. I've been very much so looking forward to collaborating with you because when I'm watching your streams, it's not that I have to agree with everything that everyone ever says in life, but I find myself more times than not sitting there saying, that's exactly what I was thinking.
Oh,
Just every single time.
Generation Z.
I am a younger millennial. I'm
Okay.
like right at the cutoff of millennial.
I got issues with Generation Z, but if you were a Z, it's okay. But you're a millennial, all right, all right, all right.
Yeah, yeah. I feel you. I feel you because it keeps getting worse as we go down the timeline. It's deteriorating, deteriorating, and deteriorating. And TikTok is not helping.
It does
It
not
is just rotting their brains all the way to hell.
all the way,
Um,
all the way.
but y'all see the title. We about to piss some people off. Okay. We about to piss some people off. And the reason why is because they pissed us off. Okay.
Tell 'em.
I am so sick. Okay. I am absolutely so sick of posting a video about blackness, about black people, or different things that we are struggling with, or different things that we need to work on as a black woman, posting this content. And I get the so-called pro-blacks, and they filter in, and they just have some of the dumbest takes I've ever heard in my life. And
Yeah,
then they have the nerve to call me a COON. I'm like, do you not realize the things that you're saying? That sounds exactly like what a Nick Fuentes is saying. Y'all making the same argument. You just took the scenic route.
I know
So
you have to lie. You trying to tell me that these same people that are so educated, that know so much, that don't want to be called names, that don't want to be told what to do, is turning around, calling somebody names and telling them what to do. The hypocrisy.
right.
You know, we got a word of the day. Is that on the list, y'all? Hypocrisy.
That need to be the word of the month because it is just so rampant everywhere. Like that should be a reoccurring word because folks just can't get a clue. Okay,
No,
they just can't get a clue about the hypocrisy and even when you point it out to them bar for bar, you show them how what you're saying aligns perfectly with the same white supremacists that y'all mad at. It aligns perfectly, and they just still they don't see it. They don't want to see it. So we're gonna get all the way into that because it's been a mess, and it just keeps getting worse. You would think with more programming, more information, things would get better, but unfortunately, people are stuck in their echo chambers, and when they hear something that is slightly different from what they're used to, they just instantly, either they take what you're saying completely out of context, or they start adding bells and whistles that weren't even there. Like, I never said what you attacking me for something I didn't even say.
Well, isn't it interesting that the strangers who there's another content creator named Take Heed to the Message, and when she's streaming, she gets all that too, and she says, I don't want to get you in trouble. She says scroll the F up, and I've adopted that because it's like you don't have to be here if you don't want to. All views matter. All views do matter, but you don't have to be here because I gotta be like, I don't be trying to change y'all's mind. I don't know why you think you're gonna be trying changing my mind with some foolishness. And y'all put this mess out here, so I'm confused as what you mad at me for. I didn't dig this up. I didn't, make this up. Whoever did this mess and put it out here. So maybe you should go to them and leave me the F alone.
Exactly. It's like you're upset at us talking about the foolishness, but you're not upset about the foolishness itself.
Exactly.
They're like, why are you feeding into racial stereotypes? I'm like, why is she living like a stereotype and then putting it online?
Exactly.
You mad because people are shining a light on something. Be mad that there is something to shine a light on.
Exactly. We don't have a right to say anything. It's only them.
Yeah. And what's crazy is that they'll go through all kinds of hoops and hurdles to, justify why they're saying you shouldn't talk on an issue. Mm-hmm. Like in particular, with me being light skinned, are like, well, you shouldn't be talking about this because you're light skinned. I'm like, I'm black. Both my parents are black. Both my grandparents are black. Now, yes, obviously there's probably some multi-generational mixing at some point, but we blackity black over here. Like, so it's crazy that, I'll put out a video and that's one of the first things they'll attack is the fact that I'm a lighter skin tone.
What in the hell does that have to do with anything?
You know what? That's a good question.
That's so stupid. Like, okay. So I think we talked about this the other day that you would get everyone when I was younger gets made fun of about everything. So I was too tall, too brown skin, too talking white, too talking black. It's always something. So that's why it's like, all right, you got to get a thick skin about stuff. But colorism is our thing. So just because somebody is lighter color, what difference does it make? We got all these ranges, you know what I mean? So I don't know, girl. I believe it, but at the same time, it's like I can't believe it. Like you can't do anything when it's foolishness. But if it was ratchetness, they wouldn't point it out. If you was over here saying, yeah, hey, what is her name, child? Sexy Red, that's my girl. They'd be like, yeah, sis, go, sis. Yeah, sis.
Exactly. But the moment you want to hold a standard or, uplift anything that's positive or say that there's a better way for different things, the moment you want to do that, it's like their brain shut off. It's just they remove their brain from their skull and, just start saying the most outlandish things possible. But I do want us to kind of get into, how we both arrived at our frame of thinking. Now, I don't know if you went on a journey to figure these things out or if, your family already knew the real tea from the beginning, that a lot of, this Democrat and, the victim mentality and all these different things that are plaguing the Black community. So when it comes to like your journey, or if there was a journey to your mindset that you're at right now, can you go ahead and describe that for me, what that looked like?
As far as the realization that the Democrats are half damn crazy, I would say I came to that conclusion being on YouTube. So I've been on here for 4 years, going on into 5. And prior to that, even though my mom she's always said, dude, you all keep voting Democrat and they don't ever give you anything. You all just keep voting Democrat and they don't even have to do anything for your vote. She's been saying that since I was old enough to hear her voice, right? but I don't know who she ever voted for. I know she voted for Obama. I can definitely confirm that. But like prior to that, I don't think she ever voted for anybody that wasn't Democrat. So in my mind, I was like, well, why in the hell you keep saying this if you're gonna keep doing the same damn mess that you're complaining about, right? But I was like, all right,
this is amazing.
So I've been hearing it. And then when Donald Trump was president the first time, my mother was doing a newsletter. So she would do a newsletter and she would send it out to her personal, friends and whatever. And every story was a story of a Black person getting killed by a white person. That's all she would put out. And I would just be like, is there nothing else going on in the world? And she would look deep. She would spend her whole time looking for it. And then, it had me scared at the time. And then it was a lot of, rhetoric as far as Trump is concerned and everything. And then here comes Joe Biden and his "you ain't black" and when he was losing for the umpteenth time, he went down there to the Black church. And then they just said, Joe Biden it is, Joe Biden it is. And when that was going on, I was like, well, wait a minute, what happened to the crime bill? Because all I've been hearing in this area is the crime bill and disenfranchised people and he's racist. And I'm just looking at all this like, no, wait a damn minute. I'm just a little bit confused. Like maybe that was the journey. Because so now we just forgot all about that. And then none of that matters anymore. And then he got elected. Then they chose Cam. And then Tiffany Cross came out here talking about you gonna put Kamala Harris in that. She's just some sister girl type of shit. And I was looking at that like, bitch, who in the hell are you talking to? Like it was all this foolishness that was going on. Like it's all kind of running together, but it's like, y'all, these people crazy. These people are crazy. What is going on? And then when Joe Biden was in there, we did it, Joe. Joe Biden was in there, and the thing with the border started happening, and then he had said that she was the border czar, and then people are like, she wasn't the border czar, and I was like, no, damn it, I'm old, but y'all, I do remember him saying that she's supposed to take care of the damn border, and we found those videos. I said, these MFers, and then talking to more people and listening to other people on YouTube that are more on conservative side. And I was just like, and listening to Anton Daniels, I know a lot of people don't like him, but you don't have to like him to understand what he's saying. And a Black conservative perspective and some other people trying to hear something that's not CNN, MSNBC, which I don't listen to. Wasn't listening to none of that because I don't listen to the news. I haven't listened to the news in years. I just go find what it is that I need. And I said, y'all, these people crazy. I said, this is what Black people believe in. When I equate that back to when I was in school, I was raised by my grandmother initially, my grandmother's, and we had to go to church every Sunday. There was no ifs, ands, or buts. Had to go to choir practice with her, had to go to Bible study. Like you had to do these things. And I'm like, so now we don't believe in the Lord? So when it's political, so now we believe in deleting kids. So now we believe in deleting kids, and that's just the way that it's supposed to be. I'm like, and then when they started with the ABCD stuff, which I can now see, which I wasn't paying attention to, is something. I don't mean to be so long-winded, but it's a couple of cycles of these presidencies, and I'm just looking like, now wait a damn minute. And I said, I'm not trying to sit around here and just be going along with all this ABCD stuff, because again, I grew up where they meant plural. So I'm not running around here calling one person they. They can kiss my ass. What we're not going to do is try to change my education and my life to fit this bullshit. And that was a lot of what Joe Biden was doing. I said, I'm not doing this. I said, y'all crazy. Y'all are out of your damn minds. Y'all can have this shit. And I did not vote for Cam. And then they'll watch that, and then I'm done. And then they'll watch that daggone, she said, what I'm gonna do, not help Black people. No. It was them freaking rolling.
Talking about
the rest of them MFers talking about how they're trying to force that woman to be Black. I said, why are y'all lying to us. Like, what are we doing right now? So you're just gonna sit here and lie to us. There's so many things. And I'm not even necessarily a Republican. I'm not necessarily a Democrat. I am aware of the people that got some damn sense, which I find as every day, there aren't any. It don't even matter. There aren't any. Oh, but we're gonna talk about them. Oh, we definitely gonna talk about them. But let me hold on. I'm sorry. Let me acknowledge Prince Revolver because he sent a super chat. Thank you, Boo. He said, "Is Sandra single?" I will let you answer that.
No. No, my man is literally right there. No, but very, very sweet of you. But look, I love listening to you talk. So don't ever feel like you're being long-winded. I can sit here all day and hear you talk. You could read me the dictionary and it would be the funniest thing I've heard all day. So
noted. Okay, thank you.
But listening to what you're saying, and absolutely, I agree with everything that you're saying. What was so crazy, especially around that time, like 2020 and all that election, was you had all these Black folks out here putting on the cake for him. He gets so bold that he says, just like you mentioned, you ain't Black if you don't vote for me. And I'm like, this is the same mofo that locked half of y'all family members up,
girl,
on some drug charges.
Girl, every single time. Y'all, wait a damn minute. He's the creator of the crime bill. And then your favorite first Black president, because they said the first Black president was Bill Clinton. Yeah, so it's like, well, wait a minute, y'all. That's your first Black president, and he signed the crime bill, and y'all got all over that. And I'm like, Black people. Do y'all see what's going on, and y'all still gonna just be like going through with all this and just ignore it like you didn't witness it, you can't hear it, you don't comprehend it, and you think, I swear to you, I think some people are just waiting for something that says BLACK and then present it. I think that's what they're waiting for.
Exactly. It's like we're so desperate. We're so desperate for literally everything that they can give us literal crumbs off of their plate that they've already just slopped up. They got their spit mixed in with it. They don't let the dog lick the plate, and then they're gonna toss us the crumbs, and we're just foaming, frothing at the mouth at their crumbs. And it's absolutely insane. And I'm gonna need us to get our standards up off the floor. If we're going to have this line in the sand about these different things, then I'm going to need y'all to not let folks play in your face to where you forget the history of somebody. Don't forget that he has a whole litter of history talking about, a lot of anti-Black things, or, targeting Black folks or calling us predators and all these other things. But then they want to look at the same timeline and then be like, well, Trump back in the 80s, he didn't, rent out to, and it was like, okay, well, you can see that, but then why can't you see the crime bill that y'all were just talking about? Like, why can't you see that? Why can't you see all these different things, but just deaf, dumb, and blind? And I think that part of this is some people don't have an inner monologue. Some people if you're sitting there trying to do something, you think it to yourself in your head and you hear your own voice, or you hear your mom's voice. Mm-hmm. You have that?
That's common sense.
Yeah, a lot of people don't have that.
Yes, and a lot of people are missing it.
It's just crickets. Up there. That's why when someone tells them something, if they're an approved source, they just go with it. They just go full throttle, go with it, because they don't have an internal voice that's gonna, combat or criticize or critique what they're hearing. They're just gonna say, "Oh, trusted source," and then they adopt it on as their own because they don't got anybody up here to critically think for them. So it's insane. It's absolutely insane to me.
That's the new thing, because whenever anybody says it, then it is. Or if TikTok says it, then it definitely is, because that is the source of everything right. And I'm like, so y'all just gonna forget the fact that the Asians, I'm gonna call them, even though I think it's Chinese people, tossed y'all this dumbass app while they got the smart ass app over here. So y'all just gonna forget about all that? Their people got the smart app. Y'all got the dumb app, and y'all going along with the dumb shit. All right, cool. Another source of where we'll just get content from and have y'all out here looking crazy.
Exactly. That's so true. When TikTok popped off here in the United States, I was actually living in China at the time. I was living in China at the time, and yeah, their TikTok is way different. They prioritize, educational, performance art. They will not allow you to post anything slightly ratchet on their end of TikTok. It's completely different. And I remember talking to one of my coworkers, and she pointed this out to me because I didn't download it because I was like, I don't want the CCP watching me and watching my moves. So I didn't download the app, but she was telling me and she was showing me what they had on their TikTok, and I'm like, this is actually beneficial. This is healthy. But people don't want to hear that. They cannot delay gratification to save their life. So
Correct.
if it's gratifying them right in that moment, they won't think about the future. They won't think about the implications of it. It's just, am I having fun right now? Let's just go full throttle into that. Just no thought process whatsoever into it. And I do want to shout out to Full Drinking Half Thinking for the $10 super. It says your guest tonight is a crazy woman.
Yeah. Such a jackass. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the super. And I kind of want to tell you my story about how I came to this point of view, because I wasn't here. I was one of those pro-Black people. My intentions were good though. I hold firm that my intentions were good. But growing up, definitely had a Democrat family. They voted Democrat. And when it came to Obama's second term, that's when that awakening started happening for me and mine. So, when Trayvon Martin was murdered, and you had Obama kind of come out here, and he basically stood on, which made no sense because Zimmerman was not a police officer, but he stood on business for the police and was kind of throwing on the cape for it and not really doing anything to mitigate those cases where there was police brutality or police oversight or anything like that. So when that happened, I was just like, okay, that's effing weird. Like, why aren't you doing more for this situation? And, at that election, I made a very, because that was my first election I was going to be able to vote in, was Obama's second term. And I was like, I ain't voting for that muff. I was like, nope. No, ma'am, I'm not voting for him. And, from that point on, I was just kind of disillusioned. I didn't want anything to do with the Republicans. I didn't want anything to do with the Democrats. But as time went on, I was thinking, deeply about the relationship between the Democrat Party and Black people. And, similar to what your mother was saying about, like, what have they done for you? Y'all vote for them. They don't do anything for you. So coming to that realization and seeing how they kind of tote themselves around as the Black Party and, oh, we're for the Black people, but there's nothing to show and prove. And in fact, if you look at Democrat run cities, especially the ones where we have a high density of Black people living in those areas, they live in like shit. Okay.
No, you can't say that. No. You can't say that. That is the media portraying that for Black people. You're wrong. Okay. Just FYI.
Yeah, apparently, even though there's constantly a funeral, even though we're constantly, free my this, or even though this is what they're posting on their profiles about all the destruction going on, specifically Chicago, because I grew up outside in the suburbs outside of Chicago, and all we see there is just the negativity, the death, the destruction. When I would go into the city, it wasn't nearly as bad as it is now. Like, I used to go to Chicago relatively frequently, and it wasn't that bad, but it was still bad. Don't get me wrong. It's gotten progressively worse. Like, even the north side, the north side used to be like the safe zone, because that's where all the white people were. That would be like the safe zone. But the little YNs, they came in, they started doing their teen takeovers, or their what the mayor call it, small gathering.
Yes,
having their small gatherings where they're destroying property and just tearing everything up.
So, jackass.
You look at these different cities, and your fellow Black people, they living in squalor. They're all hooked up, and it's just like, if you are the Democrat Party, why aren't we seeing benefits for the so-called Black people that y'all run on? And not only that, they will use us as the face of literally everything. And when they do get some kind of, benefits or resources, next thing you know, it's going to the LGBTQ mafia. It's
Girl.
going to the white women. Shout out to the white women in the chat. I do got a few white women that follow me. No shade, no tea. But we're just talking about the facts here. They would use us as the face of literally everything. And when the benefits come in, again, literal crumbs off the plate, even though they built everything off of our backs. And so, I became extremely, extremely disillusioned with the Democrat Party once I started realizing all of this. And then fast forward to the 2020 election, because I wasn't fucking with Trump his first term. I was like, I don't like any of these people. I don't like him. I don't like that, because I was buying into a lot of the narratives that were said about him, and they were believable to me at the time. Mm-hmm. But fast forward to 2020, and I start looking into things. And, one of the most interesting things that Trump said during the 2020 election was he got out there. A lot of people don't believe me when I say this, but I have the video evidence. He got out there and he clearly said, Black Americans built this country. So he was talking about, our ancestors, the slaves that built this country, and he made it very well known. He was like, yes, Black Americans, their ancestors built this country. So basically saying we deserved our respect and things like that. And, everybody's sitting over here painting this man as just the absolute racist. So I juxtapose those two instances. Mm-hmm. You have Joe Biden saying that he can dictate whether or not you're Black based on if you vote for him, versus Trump, who's saying, Black Americans built this country, and y'all are sitting over here and you're going to dead look me in my face and say that one isn't racist and then the other is. I think you got that flipped. So it's just, and I do have to give credit where credit is due, because in the last couple of years, my understanding of where the real anti-Black racism is, it was actually Justin. That's my man. That's my man. He's the one who really opened my eyes to a lot of things that I was not privy to. So, when we kind of throw the cape on for Black people in the sense of, denying that we have choices that we're making, that we have things to be accountable for, and just saying well, it's because the CIA put the crack in the community. It's because of this. It's because of that. I used to make those arguments too. I was like, yeah, well, it's the CIA and it's that. But then, Justin kind of sat me back. He was like, well, why'd they choose to take the crack? Why did they choose to sell the crack to the other Black people? So y'all mad at the CIA, but you're not mad?
You don't say that. What are you saying? You're not allowed to say that, okay? Because what happened is this is all a result of white supremacy, discrimination, and racism. And what I learned yesterday from watching that panel where Black people brought Pearl back on. You were here earlier, where they brought Pearl back on. And then they're out here saying all this, this is the reasons why we're making excuses for this behavior. Oh, okay. I'm pretty sure that one has nothing to do with the other, but anything to make an excuse for talking to her. But then if you're talking to one of us, then it's like, you're this, you're that, you're this, and you're that, right? So as far as, man, you just said something and I wanted to speak to it and I totally forgot. But the thing is that they can clearly come over here and say something between me and you being Black, but you ain't saying nothing to her and what she's doing when she's actually, just to take it off of Biden and Trump for a second, not to change the subject, but that's a whole ass white person that's coming over here basically writing off exactly what you kind of just said a second ago, what Black people have, and be able to come and get a benefit, rile you up, make you look exactly like you allegedly are by the stereotypes, and then run it on back over there to actual racists in the chat and the comments, because I'm looking at it and y'all ain't got shit to say. So you can miss me with all this bullshit. I'm not trying to hear it. Not to mention the fact that I am not required to do anything other than what I want to do, regardless of what color I am, because F them all, honestly. I am a whole ass adult and none of these people are taking care of me that's got all this mess to say. And what about the fact that one moment is we don't want to be slaves and we don't want slavery, but you are willingly listening to people that are only rich and famous because of us, but y'all ain't rich and famous, and you're not trying to hear it, but you're following them blindly. Sounds a little cultish to me, but that's just me. That's how I look at it.
You are absolutely right. That is straight up facts. And what's so interesting, kind of going back to the whole Pearl thing, when it was like Fatty's channel the first time they brought that little heifer on there, and I was literally saying in there like, yo, stop giving her what she wants. And I had black people telling me that was foolish behavior, because I said stop giving her what she wants. I'm like, what? Like, yeah, it also reminds me of Halloween. Just like Halloween, when they did all the blackface.
Yes,
I made a video and I was telling them, I was like, look, the more energy y'all give to them, like, you're literally giving them exactly what they want. They want a reaction out of you. Ignore them. I literally, in my video, I said, stop giving the racists what they want. Next thing you know, here come the pro-blacks. What do you mean you're not angry about blackface? What do you mean? I'm like, you are literally letting them control you. Because if I know what gets you angry, if I know what gets you to pop off, guess what? Whenever I want you to pop off, I can just press a button and there you go. Tap dancing.
Exactly.
For the white man, because they said a word to you, or because they did, like, just let them look silly. Let them look stupid. The most you need to do is just be like, oh, that's corny, and scroll. Don't interact, don't like, don't comment, because the more you do that, you're literally, if they're monetized, you're giving them money.
Yep.
So you're lining their pockets. And then also that outrage is going to spread it through the algorithm, because the algorithm doesn't know anything. It's not a real person. So it just sees engagement and it's going to push it out there. So that's what a lot of these companies know. If you get black people mad, specifically black women mad, guess what? We'll make you millionaires.
That is the easiest thing to do in the world. Okay. But the funny part is, not to cut you off, I'm sorry, about the Pearl stuff and just what happened, whatever night that this last one was on Lapeef. She came with a whole list of shit to rile them up, and it worked. All she did was read her damn list. I said, oh no, y'all are falling for this. I said they all should have just not said anything. It should have been quiet as a church mouse and just sit there. No. You're not gonna tell us all the oh my God. It's so funny. Not funny. It's just funny just to watch this and be like, do we have control of ourselves or not? I'd be a little bit confused as to whether we know what it means to actually control yourself, or in those people, like I said, I assume, because I don't know any of those people, right? Well, I know like two of them. I'm assuming that they're smart. I'm assuming that they're educated. I'm assuming that they are not the, I say the poors, and not the fake poors. They're at least middle class, upper middle class people. And yet here you are falling for this shit that you just saw happen 2 weeks ago. And then no offense against Lapeef Network at all. No offense. Do what you do. Let a content creator do what they want to do. I only answer to Google, right? But is no one questioning why he brought her on there? With one white woman, the controversial white woman, and all these black people that was ready to go like a bull from the time that the daggone show started, as far as I'm concerned. And then to ask her, what the fuck? I'm sorry, girl. What the fuck you think about black fatigue? I don't give a fuck what Pearl thinks about black fucking fatigue. I'm fatigued. I'm black and I'm fatigued right now. The fact that y'all are asking this white woman what she thinks about fucking black. Let me tell you what she thinks about black people. She like effing them. Shout out to the Sassy Straights. She like effing them, and she like riling the rest of them up, and she like going over there and presenting that shit to them racist ass white people. That's what she like. Period. And y'all fall for it and give it to her. But you give her attention, fucking ain't right. Because at the end of the day, this is stupid. I said, she looking crazy. I said, but y'all are looking more crazy by platforming her and feeding into her bullshit. Child, that bitch could show up right now and be like, girl, you sending a super chat? Because other than that, I don't give a fuck. You gonna pay me. I don't care how many subs she has. I am a organically growing channel. I don't pay for nothing. I just say subscribe or not. And if you don't like it, move the fuck on. I don't care. I don't be on a bunch of people's stuff. You either like it here or you don't. And you don't have to, because I don't mind either way. But that's just me. Other people think that subscribers are key. I don't care about that. I do. Shout out to all of y'all. But it's the views that matter at the end of the day. At the end of the day, it's just views that matter. And some people that aren't content creators don't know that, but swear they know everything all the daggone time. Everybody know everything and don't know shit.
That's true. That's absolutely true. You know, especially vidIQ. I don't know if you have that plugin. It tells you, it gives you all the tea on a lot of these different channels. Mm-hmm. And you know what you'll find is that there are some channels that are very small that are making way more money than these channels that have millions of subscribers. So you're absolutely right. You could have subscribers that don't watch they don't watch, they don't tune in, they don't send anything, they don't care. Mm-hmm. So it's like, you know, they use that for getting like, you know, sponsors and, you know, doing that type of stuff. They use that for that. But even if your analytics aren't matching up with your subscriber count, then that's not even going to help you get those sponsors, because why would they want to sponsor somebody with 2 million followers and only 2% of them actually watch your content? It's just, it doesn't look good on any end.
And that's
absolutely right.
Say about her, if you look at the numbers, it doesn't match 2 million. And that's the other thing that I've been saying, and I know you know, is that if you have 2 million, why are you effing around with people that have 15,000 and 20,000 and excuse me, 150,000, you know, however much Lapeef has? Does anyone not question why she not hanging out with the other 2 millioners, the other 100 or 1 millioners, however you say that? Or even the more millionaires. You got millions. Why are you hanging out down? It's like you slumming. No shade against any of us, but it's like you slumming. But you're so wonderful and subs me and everything, because people be making those contents. I'll be like, so? And the views don't match the numbers at the end of the day. Because if you go to iShowSpeed, he got numbers that are out of this world. And Mr. Beast and, you know, any of the other rest of them with millions. But y'all over here, oh, she's wonderful because she's got 2 million. All right, y'all, whatever you say. Pearl don't need nothing from you. I didn't ask that bitch for nothing. Fuck Beavis or Butthead. I don't give a damn about her. Shit, I don't care. Let me acknowledge for a second. I'm sorry, boo. Let me acknowledge Saint. I appreciate you, honey. Say good evening, Miss Sean. Hello, Sandra, and peace to the chat. Shout out from Maryland. This is a dream collaboration. Oh, you're so sweet. Thank y'all both for making us laugh and telling it like a T.I. is. Thank you so much, Sank fan. He be sneaking in there. I know he be ear hustling a lot of time. I appreciate you, boo. Shout out to News Ticks. I appreciate you, honey. He said the real problem is that there's too many Umars and Amanda Seals and not enough Andersons like Claude and Dave Anderson. Shout out to Dave Anderson. I love him. I love him. I love him. I don't know if you know him, but he speaks normal and he be on Roland's ass.
I know Dr. Claude Anderson. I know Dr. Claude. He's been speaking on a lot of these different things, especially when it comes to the economic ends for Black people. He you know, he was one of the people that talked very extensively about like the civil rights movement and how, you know, we had our own businesses, right? For instance, if we talk about the buses, we had Black-owned buses, and you know, it's just like we started neglecting what we had because we were so desperate to integrate with white folks. And it's just like, you do y'all not realize what money is? Money is empowerment. So, and I've said this before on my channel, you know, the pro-Blacks get mad at me for this too. It would be a cold day in hell if I let somebody spit in my face, set dogs on me, spray me with hoses, call me all kinds of names so that I could give them money.
Girl.
What? No, I'm gonna take my money to where I'm loved and where I'm welcomed, and I'm gonna empower that business, because the more we give money to those businesses, guess what they can do? They can expand, because you'll get that argument of, well, the buses weren't that great and they didn't have routes here. Well, how you expect them to get that if you don't give them the money to expand? If you don't support their business, if you don't support the busing system that they have, how do you expect them to expand? This is why I say a lot of us struggle with delayed gratification. We want things now. And this is before the internet and everything sped up to where it is right now. even back then, we couldn't delay gratification, because if we had to just, rallied behind our buses, rallied behind our communities, guess what? We could have built those up. And people bring up, well, they destroyed the Black Wall. So your argument is to just give up?
Yes.
Not rebuild? Like,
yes.
If you're going to give up anyways, then shut the hell up crying about it. You gave up. You have nothing to cry about if you just laid down and said, well, they blew it up, so I guess we're done. We'll just say you're a loser and move on. Like,
that's always the reference. So I'm glad that you said that, because that's what I was going to say. It's always the reference. Well, we built Black Wall Street and they came through, and of course it's not the right thing to do, and it was atrocious, and we can't do it again. So it's not possible to do it again. So we can only believe in Tyler Perry and Oprah. And, I said earlier, Magic Johnson and Shaquille O'Neal. So nobody else can do it. So that's it. That's where the buck stops. And with the gratification, that's why, I say what I know what I know, and what I don't know, I can acknowledge what I don't know. So let me just say, I've heard of Dr. Claude Anderson. I have to go and hear and read and see what he has to say. I have not. But the economic portion of it all is really the most important thing at the end of the daggone day, because if you ain't got you see all these people with money, right? Because they definitely pocket watching. But instead of obtaining the knowledge that you need in order to have something so that somebody can start watching your pockets, you would rather think that they're supposed to have their money taken away from them and given to you. And where on God's green earth is anyone wanting someone to take their money that they worked for and give it to someone else? I'm pretty sure that none of these people that think that that's okay would allow someone, and I'm not talking about getting a check, y'all. We know how that works when you work in America, right? Not about the taxes or anything, but just say you paid your state, local, federal, your Medicare. So you paid all that, because we know that's what that is. And just say if they just started to say, you know what? You need to give a poor tax now, even though we technically do. But just say they added another one on and said, now's the poor tax. And because you make $150,000, you now have to give 10% of that to go over there to those people. And every single last one of these people right now that want somebody to give them money would have a fit. And I'm saying every single one. Somebody tell me I'm lying. Because they're not gonna have that. And so those rich people don't want that either. So I don't understand why that's so hard to freaking believe. But it's like people just act like they don't know. If you could take a second and take a step back and think about what it is that you're saying, because any and every opportunity that I have ever had, it didn't specifically say Black. So if I didn't go look for what it is that I was looking for and seek and find, I wouldn't have gotten it either. So should I blame somebody else because I didn't take my time, energy, and effort to go find it? We wouldn't own any homes if I hadn't went, sought, and found the fact that you can get money from the government to put down to buy a freaking house. And every single house we've ever had, I've gotten that. So I'm Black. Why can't you do that? Why can't y'all do that? Not y'all, you know what I'm saying. But why can't y'all do that? No, it's racism. So that's why I'm like, shout out to the white people. All white people are racist. Now what? That is my answer all the time. So all white people are racist. Now what? That's all I got to say about it, because if you're racist, and I just said this to somebody, if you're racist over here and you work with me, and you racist over here and you racist over there, you think I give a damn? Because I come in here to work and then carry my Black ass home and make sure that check come in twice a month, every week, or whatever the schedule is, and that I'm doing what I'm supposed to do in order to continue to keep that job and to make that money, which is do least as possible and get as much as possible where I am right now. So I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I don't give a damn who's racist up in this bitch, because you're not going to be bold enough to come and say nothing to me to my damn face. I promise you that. And then if
you getting a check,
the person that runs this company is racist, guess the fuck what? I still work here. And if he do something crazy and it affects this daggone company, he gonna be the fuck on up out of here one way or another, any daggone way. I don't worry about all these different what ifs. I ain't got time for that. I worry about what's going on right here, what needs to be done right here, and what it is I can go get for right here. And when I say that shit, it's like I'm talking a freaking crazy ass language. Let's bring up what happened before when I just want to say, so y'all think that the ancestors would be happy with what the hell it is that's going on right now? Because everybody always want to bring up the ancestors. So y'all telling me if you brought the ancestors back, if we did a seance and we sat there and we started talking to some of them, they would be like, child, y'all doing a great job. That sexy red, she the best thing I've never seen. And all them lip glosses are the best thing ever. And when y'all out here half naked, I love it. And all these single moms is the best, child. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely not. They are rolling over in their grave. They are rolling over in their grave. And it's insane. They will try to chin check you with the ancestors, knowing good and well the ancestors are not on their side. I bring this up before, and after this, I do want to do a shout out to all the supers, but you know, you have a lot of them. What they'll do is they'll cite Malcolm X. They'll say by any means necessary. They'll cite him, and I'm like, did you listen to the other stuff he said? Because if he were alive today, saying the same things he was saying back then, now y'all would call him a COON. You know, because as much as they want to say like, oh, black on black crime isn't a real thing, and I agree, crime is crime. But if we want to say that Black Lives Matter, guess what? It matters if we're taking our own lives as well. It doesn't just matter when the white man does it. No, it matters across the board if Black Lives Matter. So, you know, if you go back and you watch some of his interviews, he's brought up, right? He was talking specifically about building a hospital. And he was like, yeah, we need a hospital because we got a lot of sick folks. And we also do a lot of cutting and stabbing of each other, a lot of shooting and stabbing of each other. So even he was acknowledging that there was a cancer within the Black society, within the Black community, and it needed to be dealt with. And acknowledging that point alone, acknowledging that Black people have problems that need to be fixed, that gives you a one-way ticket into Coonville, according to modern day pro-Blacks. And it's just like, y'all talk about Malcolm X, this, that, and the third. Y'all would call him a COON if he was still alive, saying the same things he was saying then now. And that's the part that is so irritating.
But it's I'm sorry, but it's only the one-liners. You know what I mean? Because I was made to read Malcolm X when I was a child because my mother made me read, and I was a reader because of it. So it's like you pick and choose what you want, and or you'll go watch the movie. But maybe if you go and read the book or read something to get a different knowledge than what somebody else thinks and what they're saying and following, this is amazing, and following them, then maybe we could have some better perspective and some perspectives and better results as well. Because there's a lot of being led around here and a lot of allowing someone to lead you. And like I always say, then you get the banana in the tailpipe and then y'all acting like, oh my God, I can't believe this. Or the Lucy with the football with Charlie Dan Brown. And it's like, but y'all keep falling for the same thing over and over again, especially after 2020. Then I stop. And y'all got what? Juneteenth. That's fine. I didn't even know Juneteenth was a thing, child, until after 2020 anyway. Sorry, I didn't know. So then you get Juneteenth and you get all these statues taken down. So where are we at now? Where are we at now? So you got the police that's still, you know, that's what they're saying anyway, still taking out Black people every day. Somebody just said that the other day. But the police are taking Black people out every day. And that's the Black fatigue and the trauma that we live through every day because it's so hard being Black because we got to deal with the police every day. I don't deal with the police, and child, they be pulling me over, even though I've slowed down. So they be pulling me over. And I'm like, you know, just give me the damn ticket. Because what I'm going to do, argue with you because I know what I was doing was wrong. Do we ever do anything wrong? And can we acknowledge it? And maybe that would be a little bit more helpful. And I'm always asking, where the hell is Black Lives Matter? Specifically, when I'm thinking, the first thing that comes to my mind is what happened in Chicago with that mother and her children. I still don't think I've seen them. I ain't seen the National Urban League, the NAACP, none of them. Ben Crump, nobody. But as soon as, God forbid, any white policeman does something or any white person at all, y'all gonna be right around there. And that's the same thing. Wash, rinse, repeat every single time. So we're not important enough when we are hurting from whatever happens by way of someone that looks like us. We're not important at that point. Not at all. No way, no how, no nada, no nothing. But let a white person who we not supposed to care about, who's a racist, ain't got shit to do with us, downtrodden us, keeping us down, then all of a sudden that's the only time that we're supposed to care. So damn all those other Black people that are on up out of here. Damn them. Unless a white person does it. I'm sick of
That's
that
the part.
narrative. I'm sick of that narrative.
Exactly. That's because it's not built on an actual principle. And see, this is something that I say across the board to everybody because it is a principle of mine. If you say you believe in something, then it shouldn't matter who it's happening to, when it's happening. You should stand firm in that belief, right? If I'm going to say that I value accountability, then I'm going to have that across the board. I'm going to have accountability for myself. I'm going to have accountability for the people in my life. I'm going to have accountability for the people I interact with. So it's like, if you truly have a principle that Black lives matter, then you're going to care whenever Black lives are lost. Okay. Especially if it's not just like, dying of old age or just like a car accident or something like that. But when lives are taken, you would care. You would be out there trying to figure out what happened, trying to get justice. You would care. But no, if you're only applying it when a white person is involved, then you don't actually have that principle, and you can miss me with all the boohoo nonsense. I don't care.
I agree.
But shout out to Swan Daily. Thank you so much for the $2 super. You said Charlemagne is fake for not calling out Joe Biden. I love the way you say Joe Biden.
Joe Biden.
Shout out to Swan Daily. Thank you so much. And then also Woke Quill. Thank you so much for the $10 super. You said white liberals who've been posing as our friends have failed us. Once we see that all of these other sources, once we see that all of these other sources to which we've turned have failed, we stop turning to them and turn to ourselves. Malcolm X, facts. He's been on the white liberals for quite some time. And then thank you so much, live from NYC, for the $20. Well, it's just a smiley face. So thank you for the smiley face. And then one more. I scrolled right past it. Mark Kendall, thank you so much for the $2 super. You said, can we replace Black fatigue with ratchet fatigue? Yeah, ghetto fatigue. Yeah, I agree. But once it's in the lingo, more times than not, it's just going to be that. And the fact that we're not willing to acknowledge, the different issues, it gives them a way to say, well, all of them agree with it. So then they feel justified in saying Black fatigue, because if you are not outwardly saying that you disagree with the general behavior of our ratchets because they're the face, the sexy reds, all of this, if you're not outwardly saying that you disagree with it, then that means you're accepting of it. That means you are supportive of it because you're not giving any pushback to it. So that's how they're able to say, oh, well, this is Black culture, because we don't get out there and say, yeah, we don't agree with this isn't Black culture, I don't agree with this. And this is the part that really gets me. You will have Black folks out here that do not live like Sexy Red. They do not. They would never. They will get out here and they are upstanding Black people. They do everything right. They have the American dream. And you know what they're out here caping for? Some ratchet shit. They're the ones out here saying, well, you can't talk about Sexy Red. Well, you can't talk about this, that, and the third. Well, you should let them walk outside their house in a bonnet. Why are you saying anything? I'm like, would you walk outside your house in a bonnet? Well, no, I wouldn't. But then why are you promoting something that you yourself wouldn't even do?
Girl, I haven't even. I'm going to get a bonnet and I'm going to wear it on the show. So I haven't been down to the Chinese store, but I'm going to do it because I think that's one of the most stupidest things in the world. And instead of progressing, it's like we're regressing with so many things. And then we'll say that, who owns the record stores? Who owns the, whatever? Everything's owned by white people, the Jays, whatever you want to call it, right? And it's like, that doesn't mean that you still have to play in the sand. You don't have to do it. And if we know this, because I'm like, haven't we watched all the behind the musics and the, all those specials about the music industry, the acting industry, and all these industries and what they do and how they tend to make us look in order to sell stuff to other people. But people want the fame so badly that you're willing to go ahead and compromise and go ahead and do it. But then everyone is supposed to support it. Now, I'm not going to act like we ain't never had no ratchet ass people when I was younger, because that's when because I was pro-Black when I was younger too, like Blackity Black, Public Enemy, everything, all that, okay? But then, NWA, which was a problem at the time, but even though they were out, and I like them just fine and still do, it didn't have me out there gang banging, out there cursing people out and just wilding as far as the police. I mean, I sang the songs, of course, but I wasn't out there wilding, right? There's a difference between enjoying the content like this and then acting it out. And unfortunately, too many people today seem to be influenced by the act out, because Lil Kim came out when I was 18 or 19. And we could see what it was. When I saw that cover of her bent down or whatever it was, even I was like, oh my God, I promise you. And I'm 18, 19. I was like, oh my God. But I like that music. But let me tell you what I didn't do. Start dressing like Lil Kim, start acting like Lil Kim, start going out there doing stuff like Lil Kim. I ain't do none of that. So I just feel like, even though we did have it, Foxy Brown and any of the other ones that I missed, y'all, we weren't going out there imitating them, mimicking them, acting like them from that perspective. Singing it, we were. Going to the concerts, abso-freaking-lutely. But when it was over, it was over. And then it was time to get back to normal, time to go, to school and not try to become a Little Kim, not trying to become a Foxy Brown. We wasn't trying to become there, none of that. Most people, I'm not saying everybody, but most people were not trying to become all that stuff. Now everybody wants to be a child NBA, whichever one they are, and all these other people. They got 10 kids, 15 baby mamas lined up behind them, and this is all kid you don't know, with orange hair, purple hair, talking about this is okay and acceptable. Is it? Okay, cool. Then let it be acceptable. Get your ass in and go get a job somewhere with all that bullshit going on. That's why, in my opinion, I feel like people don't want to. Girl, like Blueface can have them tattoos. He look like an absolute idiot, in my opinion. He can have them tattoos. What the hell? This is amazing. That's his genre, what he does. He ain't going to get no job. The rest of y'all jackasses, you gotta work. You gotta go work somewhere. I'm gonna just open a business. All right, cool. I'll go open a business. But if you look like that, you come to me, you think I'm patronizing you looking like that, I'm still not gonna be able to do it. But I'm old. What the hell do I know? I don't know. So I feel like that's a difference. And we most certain, Bill Cosby back then was telling people, telling dudes, pull up your pants, present yourself properly, put your shirt inside of your pants and wear a belt, all that stuff. He got hella heat for all that type of stuff. He was right. He was absolutely right with all that stuff that he used to say. And then Felicia Rashad, when she just came out not too long ago, and then you want to go at Felicia Rashad of all people, to me, that shows no freaking respect at all. If you're going to go at her like that, just because she's saying something that's right at the end of the day and is true, but you don't even have enough respect for her just to be like, all right, auntie, we just going to let that go. I might not agree with you, but we're not going to go and attack you. The list can go on and on and on, because I was just watching some Iyanla and they attacked her and got her off the daggone TV. And it's like, just because she's telling y'all what the truth is, Negroes don't like the truth. I don't care. You ain't gotta like what I'm saying. I'm saying it. Fuck y'all, okay? Not y'all, you know what I'm saying. But I'm over that bullshit of we gotta accept ratchet. No, you can't tell me what to do. These people think that I can't say what I want, but they can say whatever they want to me. It don't work that way. If you can say whatever you want, then I can say whatever the fuck I want. And I'm going to need y'all to recognize and realize that you're basically hypocrites saying that shit. You run nothing. You run yourself and run them bastards, gremlins. And when you get them under control, holla at me after that, because I'm about sick of all of them too. No, I've been sick of all of them. For real.
That is a word right there. It's absolutely insane how you could tell Black folks, like, hey, we should do something, insert anything positive, and it's just that outrage that you will hear. But the moment it's pushing something degenerate, then it's just crickets, or it's applause. And it's absolutely insane to me. And what's crazy is, I remember growing up, we had a lot of pushback for stereotypes, right? We did not like the idea of stereotypes. We were like, we don't like the representation of a stereotype. But fast forward to where we're at now, and if you point someone out for behaving like a stereotype, the rest of these pro-Blacks will attack you and say that you're playing to white stereotype. Wait, hold up. This person is literally behaving like the stereotype. Are you mad at me? I'm playing to I'm the one playing to white stereotypes, not the person that's over here doing everything that they put as the angry black woman, ghetto, ratchet, got the whole package. You're saying that I'm the one playing to the stereotype, not the person that literally looks like, behaves like, conducts themselves like a stereotype. That's why I say a lot of it is just ass backwards in our community. And the sad part about it is, and I get so frustrated on this topic. When we talk about, the history of like slavery, Jim Crow, all of that, I'm not ever going to be a denier that stuff was terrible, right? I'm one of the first people to let people know, like, even the field of gynecology has a deep rooted history in slavery. A lot of Black women were operated on, tested on, Black babies. They were, mutilated and killed, all for the sake of developing the practice of gynecology. So even with the history of that, it's already extremely disgusting. So I'm never going to be one to downplay it. But what I will not do is allow other Black people to use that history as a crutch for why they ain't shit today. Okay, what you're not going to do is deflect to and essentially bastardize it, because the more, and this is the part people don't realize, the more slavery, the more you do that, you desensitize people to that history. At a certain point, people are not going to give a fuck. They're not going to care. So as much as you guys will say, like, oh, well, y'all are attacking me for the bonnet, it's because of white supremacy and slavery and all sorts of stuff. Guess what? You have watered down the history of slavery. You have watered down the impact. So when we do want to bring up something that is related to slavery, that is still connected to today and today's day and age, you've poisoned the well. We can no longer have those conversations because you've turned it into a buzzword. So even if I want to have an honest conversation about things, the moment I say slavery, everybody's going to remove their brain and they're going to think, oh, you just on that woke bullshit. And it's like, no, this is literal history that we can talk about, and we can talk about the implications and all of that. But because we want to deflect to it, whenever we're doing something we know damn well we shouldn't be doing, whenever we want to deflect to that and use it as a crutch, well, I can't do this because of slavery, I can't do that because of slavery. You water it down. You water it down and you desensitize everybody to the topic, to the history, all of that. And that's the part that really pisses me off.
That's what I said was going on with the word racism, where people just use everything as racism. And the time that it just jumped out at me was about 2 years ago when somebody was going down in New York. Some white man pulled some woman's wig off, and she was like, that's racism. I said, that's dummism, but I don't think that it's racism. I'm like, it's assholism, but I don't think that it's racism. And then everybody started talking about it's racist. So then from that point on, it's like every time anybody does anything, it happens to be a white and a Black person, it's racism. I'm like, y'all, everything is not racism just because it happens to be a white person. You continue to do this, you're going to what did you just say? Deteriorate the word.
Water it down.
Water it down. Thank you. You water down the word, and then soon it's not going to mean anything to anyone, especially white people. And then I was in the airport some time ago, and a white man had a shirt on that said, what is it? Black Lives Matter. He had a shirt on that said White Lives Matter. And I was just looking at him like, I said it was going to happen. I said it was going to happen, but nobody seemed to believe me. And then it turns into Kanye ended up doing it with Candace Owens or whatever.
Yeah.
And then I've seen a couple of things since then. And now to the point where they're just outwardly saying, child, we don't give a damn. And that's what's happening now, which is why you have Lily Gaddis over here in blackface for Halloween. You got Pearl over here now talking about her and her Black fatigue. And, I'm not saying that they're not responsible for what it is that they're doing, because that first heifer is demonetized. But I'm pretty sure that her people support her, allegedly, child, allegedly. So I'm sure her people support her. But it's like that is something where it's like maybe we should have went at her on that, because at this point I'm like, well, what the hell? Y'all saying everything is racist. So what I'm supposed to do? Be upset every day, every 15 minutes because something happens? I don't have time for that. Y'all got this. The 90s is done. Shout out to Coach Greg Adams, because y'all don't want to hear nothing that might make sense and might help the situation, not even necessarily with regard to racism, but just to make your life easier, to make you more financially fit, to make you more fun, have more financial literacy, you don't want to hear it because it's Dave Ramsey, he's racist. It's Susie Orman, she's racist. And then it's Melody Hobbs, and y'all ain't got nothing to say because she's black. Any excuse. Any excuse. Let me acknowledge live from New York. He sent me a 20 with a smiley face as well. I appreciate you, hun. Always, always, always supporting the channel. Shout out to RBN, also known as Med School. I appreciate you, boo. He said, wait, you're organic, so we can find you at Whole Foods. Goodbye, sir. I don't know. Sound machine. Goodbye, sir. RMJ, I appreciate you, hun. Thank you so much for the super sticker. Appreciate you. MSG King, thank you, boo. He said, sounds like a bunch of white supremacy talking points if you ask me, Auntie Ruckus. Yes, that's my name too, is Auntie Ruckus. I should have put that up there, but I decided to take Dr. Esquire because if Dr. Cheyenne Bryan can be a doctor, then damn it, I can be a doctor too. Shout out to Trini, said them cans going crazy tonight. I'm gonna tell Mr. Messi, shut up, you're such a jerk. Thank you, boo. He said, wasn't you out there? I can't stand you. He's like basically saying, was I out there with Moses and them because I'm so old? Mm-hmm. Well, don't hang around me no more if I'm so old, you jackass. Shout out to the chat here and over there. If you haven't, please make sure you go and subscribe to Sounders channel. Hopefully you subscribe here. Hit the like button on both. Go over and have some conversation in both chats. Everybody over here, 220 people between both streams. Shout out to y'all. I see you. I appreciate you. Sorry, hon. Go ahead.
Absolutely. No, absolutely. And let me go through the supers as well, so we can get through them and then go back to the conversation because we're cooking. Okay, we're cooking a full Thanksgiving meal tonight. Let's see. Full drinking, half thinking. He said, when we doing our stream, shoot, we could do a 3-way stream. Well, that sounds a little. That sounds a little bit sus what I just said there. Ignore that. Yeah, we should definitely link up and do another stream. I think that would be awesome. Thank you so much, Shadow Solus, for the $2 soup. You said no, not the bonnet. Shoot, we could do a stream. Once you get your bonnet, I got my bonnet upstairs.
I'm getting a bonnet. I don't have one, but I'm getting a bonnet. I wear scarves, but yeah, I'm getting a bonnet and I'm wearing it because y'all know my thing is I wear a hat. I'm gonna get a bonnet and I'm gonna wear it. Yeah.
We can do a bonnet bandit stream together. We can cosplay as our ratchet counterparts of ourselves.
Exactly.
Thank you so much, Pharaoh, for the $5 soup. You said women with tattoos shaking with a cup. Oh, wait, what? Oh, a cup of dark. I think that's supposed to be liquor. Yelling profanities with 4 gremlin kids is the standard, and that's the scary part. That is absolutely the scary part. Mm-hmm. And then let's see. Thank you so much, Mary, for the $10 super. You said older blacks have fought so hard to undo the negative stereotypes for several decades, only to have it unravel today. Ain't that the truth? They call it what they call it is respectability politics, right? They say, oh, you're playing into respectability politics as if there's something wrong with being respectable.
I was gonna say, what the hell is wrong with being respectable? My bad.
Yeah, anytime you make a video talking about the image of Black folks and how we need to clean up our image, well, you're just playing into respectability politics. That's not going to stop them from being racist towards us. And I'm just like, first of all, that is loser behavior. The moment you have this mindset of, well, even if I do it, this could still happen to me, you're a loser. Okay, you're a loser and you're not operating within reality. There is nothing in life outside of dying that is a guarantee. Okay, you could do everything right and not get the results that you look for, but guess what? Your chances were better. Right. It's just like they want to justify being losers and justify not putting in the work or not putting any effort. They want to justify leaving their house any old kind of way. I don't know if you saw that video of the woman and she had her she had that pink nightgown on. She was walking her dog.
Yes, you did that video. Yes. And girl,
just leaving her house, not giving a whole damn. Like, it's dams in the room with us. She did not give a damn about anything. And you have people defending it, saying, well, you're just playing in respectability politics. It doesn't matter how she leaves her home. Well, guess what? You never know what could happen when you leave your house. you could run into somebody that could put you on the path to getting some money, to getting, where you want in life. You never effing know. Even, and this is an example. I remember Tyra Banks, she had her show. There was one contestant that they literally just plucked out the mall. She was walking through the mall, and they just plucked her out the mall. And if she had showed up looking a damn mess, guess what? She wouldn't have been on the show. So it's like, you never know what opportunities you're about to run into when you leave your house. Wouldn't you want to set yourself up for the best odds? It's like they want to guarantee, or else they just won't try. And like I said, that's just straight up loser behavior. Now, shout out to For the Love of Jesus for the $4.99 super. You said shout out to
Lord.
You too. My talk is the shills need a money train, so intelligent conversations about racism don't make money. That's true. That's very true. If you get out here and you hype up the sisterhood and you hype up, if you do all that pro-black, which honestly to me is very anti-black, you do all that pro-black, hoopla, they will put a lot of money in your pockets, especially the white liberals. They will support you. Oh my God. The way they rally behind Jasmine Crockett with her ratchet ass, even though she didn't grow up to be ratchet, she adopted this persona to placate to not placate, but to pander to the black folks.
Yes, she is definitely a pander, and I am confused as to why no one has called it out. Not like no one, but all of these people who want to support that, and it's like she playing in y'all's face. She is right there playing in y'all's face, and y'all are going along with it. Why does she have to act like that and making TikToks and like, I am a YouTuber, okay? I curse, Lord, I be trying to not do it, okay? But she is a congressperson. She is a representative not only of a black person, a black woman, her state, her city, and everything else. And she going out here acting like a fool. And then you got to hear, but white people do it too. You're not white. You're not white. And until we get to the point where we can maybe act like that, even though I don't know why y'all would still want to act like that when you are in a position of power, I give her that, is beyond me. It's to be combative and chaotic for being chaotic purposes. That's it. It pushes nothing forward. It endears her to, I guess, the stars, but not me. That's not endearing to me. You looking crazy. There's a time and a place. If you out with your friends and you want to be like that, have the F at it. Enjoy yourself. Stay out of trouble. You can't go into your work. Why is she able to go into her work? Because I can't go into my work. Not that I would ever do it. You can't go into yours, and then none of y'all can go into yours for the most part and do none of that. So why can she do it and act that way and talk that way and use that rhetoric that way? And then use her time to be doing TikToks when she's supposed to be working, when y'all know damn well enough of y'all, not y'all, got fired for doing freaking TikToks at work.
Right. That part. And what's so interesting is that she'll outwardly say, and this goes back to what I was mentioning before about how these so-called pro-blacks will say some of the most anti-blacks you've ever heard. There was literally a clip of her saying, yeah, I'm a congresswoman, I'm educated, but guess what? I'm also a black woman. And then tying being a black woman to having this, rah-rah energy. I'm a clap back at you. I'm gonna tell you what, I'm just all the negative, angry black woman stereotypes, literally saying, I'm isolating, separating the fact that you're educated and you're a congressperson, separating that from being black, as if being black is like this bad thing, and associating it with all the negative stereotypes. Well, yeah, I'm this, I'm that, but guess what? I'm still a black woman. And it's just like, what messaging are you really putting out there?
She's talking to
that black women are educated?
She's talking to the 92%. That's what that's about. I'm not
educated.
I'm not in the 92%, but she's definitely, when they do that stuff, it's talking to the 92% because allegedly, they got all the answers and they know everything and they're making things happen, even though it sounds like y'all still complaining that you ain't got shit and everybody voted wrong, because Donald Trump was there. And the sassy straights didn't vote right when the election happened, and then later on they said that y'all voted right. Don't forget that, y'all. When Obama came through here trying to chastise y'all because y'all was acting like you wasn't going to vote for Cam, and any of you that voted for Trump, y'all are the problem. And the thing that always tripped me out, and we used to talk about it, is the fact that Cornel West was running. And that's the person technically that they should have been all behind. They ignored that man like he was the daggone plague. He the most blackety black, but would have a problem with him because I've heard people have a problem with him because his wife is not black. But y'all don't have a problem with Cam, who's not black and is married to a white man who got the nanny pregnant and allegedly knocks women's head between the washer and the damn dryer. Allegedly. We don't know where that baby is, y'all. Don't forget, we got to find that baby and figure out where that baby went. Ignore all that, though. It's okay. It's okay. Interesting, ain't it?
It's very interesting. It's very interesting. Like, and not only that, you know, one of my subscribers, he shared with me this this document about things that are considered anti-black. Okay, and I want to read a few of these things off to you because I would love to get your perspective on this. Mm-hmm. Shout out to Ronnie C. II. This is actually it's not anti-black. This is white culture. Okay, so this is what white culture is. Emphasis on scientific method. That's one of the pillars of whiteness. So being scientific and, you know, analyzing things, analyzing data. Let me read the
hold on. So this is a list of what makes someone white, and being scientific makes you white. So think
the opposite of that.
So thinking. So using your brain.
Right. And underneath that, it says being objective, rational thinking, cause and effect relationships, qualitative and quantitative emphasis. So
being intelligent at the end of the day is what makes you white. That's what I'm hearing right now.
I would think that this would be something that a white supremacist put out. This is something that I would think that, like, you know, a Nick Fuentes, even though he's not white, you know, a Nick Fuentes, right, or Pearl Davis, or, you know, any of these, you know, well-known people that push white supremacy. I would think that this was a document that they put out there. No. This was put out by who did this? Let me see. It was the Smithsonian's African American Museum. And this was their definition of white culture. Let's read some of the other ones. The next one is work ethic. So, you know, hard work leads to success. Work before play. You know, if you didn't meet your goals, then you didn't work hard enough. That's also white culture.
Child, see, this is the foolishness that get on my nerves. Because I equate this at this point to what's right is wrong and what's wrong is right. And that's what people want us to play into. Don't point out any of the issues. I guess somehow they'll miraculously go away and then everything will be all good in the hood, which obviously we know that that's not how that works. You need to be taught something, or you need to learn something in order to change your behavior. Because, not to change the subject, one of the things with the word slavery, which is being watered down too, okay, is the people when they say that, and you would think pro-blacks would be upset at this, that being a wife is like being a slave. And I'm like, looking like a true person who's never been a wife, which one has nothing to do with the other. But the fact that you're equating, because these will be the same people talking about the atrocities of slavery and everything that we went through and our ancestors went through and everything about white supremacy and Jim Crow and breadlining and all these things. And then you allow these bitches to sit up here and say that mess and y'all are okay with it. Because
they're saying it too.
Say again?
They're saying it too. You know, they're all saying the same thing.
But that is so absurd, and it's inappropriate, and that would be something that I would think that a pro-black who believes in black, who, you know, is supporting black and everything is blackity black would have a problem with. All these educated people who know all the African American study should have a problem with it. and say, no, you dumb bitch. That's not what that is. Grow the hell up. If you don't want to work with someone, then don't. But don't use this term to water it then down. And then when white people turn around and start talking about slavery in any old way that they want to, like they're currently talking about black fatigue, we don't want to hear it. That's how I look at it.
No, you're absolutely right. That definitely, and I've heard that before too. I recently reacted to a video of a woman saying that marriage was slavery, and this was some like London black woman. She was like, "Yeah, it's slavery," and I'm like, "You raggedy bitch. Do you know what slavery is?" And first of all, half of y'all motherfuckers don't even wash your actual dishes. You put it in the dishwasher with food and all that over it. When you're washing your clothes, it's not like you out there in the yard sitting here washing. You press a button.
Exactly.
You press the most labor I might give you is folding the damn clothes and putting them away. But half of y'all don't even do that. You leave them in the basket. You don't even put the clothes up. So what slavery are you doing?
Is Sandra calling me out right now? Talking about not folding the clothes.
Hey, sometimes I don't do it either. But see, what I'm not going to do is equate it to slavery, right? It's one thing. It's fine if you don't put your. Sometimes I don't put the clothes away too. We be working. We got a lot going on. But I'm not going to equate that to slavery. I'm not going to equate throwing an extra pair of drawers in the washing machine that I was already going to run. I'm not going to equate that to some damn slavery. So
now, instead of just cooking for ourselves, we have to cook for our significant other, our husband, or our children. The kids. So we have to cook for the children, and that's slavery.
There's a difference between cooking and heating some shit up. Most of these bros don't even cook. You don't know nothing about no damn seasoning. You don't know nothing about, how you cut the meat, whether or not you're supposed to cut it against the grain or with the grain. You don't know damn thing about cooking. You talking about cooking. Half y'all bitches, all you do is heat up some shit. You put some Hot Pockets in the microwave and that's dinner. You want to talk about cooking.
If you have ever looked at any of the videos, like we've done videos on when they do food stamp hauls, and that's all it is processed food. It is pizza, is tacos, is Doritos, is waffles. It's nothing that you have to prepare. It's just putting it in a toaster or something. It's not healthy in any way, shape, or form. No wonder your little bastards are out here wilding out. They are freaking wired to the rim, and y'all just keep giving them that mess, and then you're bragging, but you're freaking potentially hurting them health wise, and it could affect them later on in life. Feeding them that crap that we hear about all the time. Child, I don't get it. But then you have that, right? Then you have that. You have you can put it in the toaster. So we have toaster ovens, we have microwaves, we have air fryers, we got all this stuff. Y'all sitting up here talking about slavery. It's slavery. Child, I got stuff in the air fryer right now waiting for me to come finish it, because you can put it in there, you can leave it and forget it. It's still being cooked. I don't even use the oven because of all these gadgets. I don't have to use the actual oven because of all the gadgets on the counter. And we talking about slavery. Are you kidding me?
Right. They even have a thing where with the can opener, you could just sit the thing on there, press the button, and it just jiggles around the lid and cuts it off nice and clean for you. I don't want to hear damn one thing about slavery. Y'all don't even cook with damn ingredients. You don't know what an ingredient is. Y'all got pre-made shit in whoever working in factories did all the cooking. Right. They're the ones that we want to talk about, actual modern day slavery. Then we can have a conversation about that. But what you doing in your house ain't no goddamn slavery. I don't want to hear that shit. Exactly.
That's so insulting, and it's so inappropriate, and it's so rude, and people need to call it out more than not, because then you are somebody that shouldn't be sitting up here talking about how pro-black you are if you're just going to go and now water down the word slavery, like basically racism has been done. But then you think that we the problem. No, y'all the problem that use that shit to make excuses for your laziness at the end of the daggone day. Child, what McCall said, cooking is racist. Shout out to Hiram over here. Let me acknowledge RBN real quick. Thank you, Boo. He said, salute to Shador Sanders, 360 yards and 4 touchdowns. Child, sorry, back to the program. Exactly. Messy, be on the lookout for an email from me tonight. All right, Boo. Child, shout out to Shador, but I don't be watching football. Y'all know. Shout out to Nick Taylor. He says slaves didn't get paid, nor did they have a say. Exactly. That makes it even more insulting. That's what I'm saying. That's bullshit. And everybody should be upset about it, period. To equate something like being married to someone and taking care of your own family and taking care of the person that you're supposed to care and love, and you're going to equate that to slavery. If y'all don't go to hell, if it applies, if it don't apply, let it fly.
Exactly. Yeah, it's insane. It's mad disrespectful. Thank you, Shadow Solus, for $5 super. You said if y'all do the bonnets, you need to have the smoke detector beep sound effect that goes off every time you say something unhinged.
That's funny.
Oh my God. Messy. Oh my God. Should I call you Messy or Michonne?
You call me Messy, that's fine.
Okay. We were literally looking at houses today. Oh my goodness. They had it was like a security system that they had. I guess they unplugged it or whatever for people, showing people the houses. And I walked into the basement and I heard that chirp. I was like, the chirp from the security. I was like, I have PTSD from these damn TikToks.
Yes.
Chirp in the background. And it's so heartbreaking, because that's another thing. Everyone's making fun of it, and it's like I see it and I'm watching a TikTok and they're saying something stupid, and next thing you know, I hear in the background, chirp, chirp. I'm like, put some damn batteries in that shit.
They don't hear it.
Cost that much.
They don't hear it.
They don't hear it.
Somebody actually said that one day. Somebody finally asked and they said, oh, I don't hear that. And it's too high up for me to get to. Girl, that's what a stepladder is for. What are we talking about? Imagine if you had a man around there, even though he would probably, the man you would have probably would allow that to continue to beep. But it is not that hard. You can go straight to the dollar store to get freaking dollar batteries and change that damn thing. But they don't even hear it, because that's how lazy, and I said lazy, these biatches be, that you're going to sit up there and allow that, which means that your kids have to sit there and suffer with it, which is probably why they half damn crazy, because they sit there listening to that going beep all day and half the damn night. That's crazy.
Exactly. That's the same thing I was saying. I was like, that must be one of the things that is driving you crazy. Because look, and this isn't a pseudoscience, it's a real science. The sound waves, they do affect the water in your body. So, I wouldn't be surprised if the frequency that chirp is happening, because it has to be something that's going to alert you, because it's telling you to change the batteries for a damn reason. So, I wouldn't be surprised if it's affecting the water within your body. And because they've done studies about this, where they would they would look at water under a microscope, and they would look at the particles, right? The particles and where they are lined. And when, there were positive sounds, then it was more cohesive, versus when it was like negative sounds, then it was very jumbled and just kind of chaotic looking. It's a whole study. You guys can look into it. But, I wouldn't be surprised if that chirp in the background is at such a frequency and you're hearing it constantly that it's driving you literally insane. It's driving you batshit crazy. And see, here's the part that I don't understand. If you've heard people making fun of this online, if you've heard people talking trash about it, wouldn't you think to either edit around it? If you do got it and you too lazy to fix it, at least edit around it, or go change the damn batteries. Because if I were filming and the batteries just they go down, it happens. You can't avoid it. The batteries are gonna go lower, so you got to change them. When you hear that beep, I would be so embarrassed.
It's amazing.
I on here and I heard the chirp. And let's say the chirp starts going off during this live stream. I would be embarrassed that it went off, and I would go fix it and make sure it's not on there for the next live stream.
I was about to say, I wouldn't be embarrassed. I'd be like, y'all hold on, and y'all gonna wait till I go pull that battery and change it, or have it changed. But I'm just like, that's one of the biggest fears, which is crazy, because batteries will go down anytime. But the problem also with people who don't believe in this type of stuff, which is something that lessons learned that your moms should be telling y'all, okay? Don't get mad at me, get mad at your mama, is that they will take the battery out if it does bother them, and then they won't replace it. And God forbid, if there's a fire, which there have been many in Philly. There have been many in Philly, and it's always not always, but a lot of the time is there was no battery in the smoke detector. So while, you know, we make fun of it and it's annoying and it's weird, it is very important to have a working smoke detector. Just like, in my opinion, it's very important to know how to swim, because it could save your life in both times. There's been too many times in Philly in particular where there have been big house fires. It's a ton of kids in there and they die because no one had changed the freaking battery in the smoke detector. So when something happened, especially at Christmas, no one knew. And so unfortunately, people die. I don't know why people want to act like this is a crazy, weird thing. Child, they're probably saying it's a part of white supremacy to change the damn smoke detector battery. I'm not trying to joke about it, but just to lighten it a little bit, but it's a very serious thing, in my opinion.
Absolutely. No, you're absolutely right. But when you see all the things that they had outlined as white culture, it's literally just things that require you to be a functioning adult in a modern society. Like, here's another one: being on time. Now, I know we've all joked about like CP time, and I'm not always on time, but I strive to be. Mm-hmm. I would be crazy as cat shit to say, it's like, it's again cementing that as a Black thing. Oh, it's just in our DNA to be late. No, time management, you know, it's a choice. It's a choice whether or not, and again, sometimes things do come up, traffic, you know, stuff could happen. But if you are just constantly just don't care about the timing of anything, like, you know, and to say that being on time and being worried about being on time is, oh, that's just white culture. Well, then what are you leaving for Black culture? Disrespecting other people's time? Because that's the whole point. When you have a time frame, you're beholden to somebody else, then it's like you should want to respect that other person's time. See, the problem is we want, well, not us, but the ratchet Blacks that want to be the face of every goddamn thing. They want to take all of their negative behaviors and somehow make it appropriate. Oh, well, it should be normalized to do. It should be normalized to do. No, the fuck it shouldn't. And then tie it to all of us. That's not how you have a good society.
And tie it to all of us. I'm not accepting that. I'm not accepting that. And
neither am I.
And I believe that that's one of, sometimes in some situations, not all, obviously, that people, when they're like, I don't know what happened, when they get fired or they be let go in the first 90 days, the first 60 days, or whatever the probationary period is, because that is a thing. Blame your mom if you don't know that. And you think that you could come in whenever you want to, because I was always taught, because I'm from a military family, if you are early, you are on time. If you are on time, you are late. And if you are actually late, you are fired. That is it. That was the rule. There was no ifs, ands, or buts. And it was ingrained in me. So I definitely try to start the stream on time every single time that I can. And then I'll push it back. Not even because, you know, this is just YouTube, but I want to be respectful of people's time and I want them to be here. And I don't want people to be just lounging around waiting for a half an hour every damn time. Because there's some people that will leave you waiting for like 25 minutes. And I'm just like, well, I was here. It's not important to you, but I'm here for you. And then y'all just going to be, you know, taking 25 minutes of life that I'm sitting here. F y'all. You know what I mean? I don't think that's appropriate. Change this time of the stream then, at minimum. Something. Yeah. Don't just have people. Yeah. I don't like that. I don't like that.
Absolutely. But yeah, it's insane that they want to equate everything that is just disrespectful to, oh, well, that's just Black culture. Well, anytime you criticize Black people for anything, oh, well, you're just anti-Black, or you're just being racist towards Black people. And it's like, you can't correct nothing. At that point, you're shutting yourself off from any form of improvement if nobody can tell you anything about anything.
Yeah, and I think it's always an opportunity to improve. But before I go there, let me acknowledge Ask a Brother podcast in the building, saying she's cooking. Shout out to you. Always good to see you. Shout out to everything that you're doing over there on your channel. Appreciate you. Shout out to all of y'all for being here. Please make sure you hit the like button. Subscribe if you are new. Sandra's channel is pinned to the top. Y'all go ahead and make sure you subscribe to her. Go on over there to that chat. Show some love, like, and subscribe. Let me acknowledge live from New York. Appreciate you, boo. He said,
this is amazing.
Ratchets have evolved to not hear certain frequencies. Smoke detectors, retail alarms. Smoke detectors, retail alarms, car dash alerts, etc. You know what? Shout out to Live from New York. They don't play, okay? This group does not play. Shout out to all the besties. Appreciate y'all. Shout out to DP in the building. Thank you, Boo. He said, keep cooking. Constructive criticism is what is needed for our people to become better individuals. Shout out to you, Boo. I appreciate you being here. Good. Thank you, Dante. Dante said he just subbed to your channel. Shout out to you.
Thank you. Thank you. Everybody that's over here, make sure you check out Messy Michonne. Her live streams are lit like this every single time. Okay. And she be doing it by herself. And then her chat is live every single time. I got Messy Michonne pinned at the top of the chat and then also in the description as well. So, you know, if you like a good time like this, make sure you subscribe to both of our channels. You know, you want to keep yourself abreast to what we got going on in the future, then make sure you're subscribed and have that notification bell pinged. I think that's the right word, pinged or clicked or turned on. I don't know.
I don't know
because, we definitely have to do this again. You know, we definitely have to do this again. I love talking to you. Your perspective is just so interesting to me, and you're very entertaining, but then you keep it real, you keep it a buck. So I am an avid watcher. I love tapping into your stream, so I just have to give you the flowers with that. Shout out to Woke Quill for the $5 super. You said, I told a girl in Rwanda washing machines and dishwashers are common, and she was shocked. Her follow-up question was, why do the women complain?
Listen, there's some people today in Africa, no shade Africa, y'all know I like the tethers, that really don't have anything modern. They have a phone. They do have phones, yeah. But like modern things, I've seen it with my own eyes, and I'm just like blown away by the fact that there's actually people that still live like they don't even have floors. They're using, I guess it's propane or something to cook. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's sad to see, but I guess that's a reality.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, we take for granted a lot of the different things that we have here. And even if we were to talk about like women's rights, you know, I'm so sick of us over here complaining, oh, the patriarchy, the men are oppressing us. I'm like, why don't you take your ass to one of these countries where the women are actually oppressed and go tell them about how you're so oppressed.
Exactly.
And have them look at you in your face. They're going to want to slap you because what the hell are you talking about? Oppressed. And not only that, you know, I can't stand misandrous. Okay. First of all, I hate that the word is so similar to Sandra because that just pisses me off all by itself. But then also, y'all talking about how much you hate men, but literally all of the luxuries that we have, all of the conveniences, all of the things that allow you to be a single woman without a man, guess who gave that to you? Guess who maintains it? These same men that you claim you hate. So it's the literal definition of biting the hand that feeds you. I can't stand it. It's like, we don't have to sit over here and say that all men are great at all times. No, we don't have to say that. We don't have to be like, men are trash, the patriarchy. Well, guess what? The only reason you're able to do anything or even complain the way that you are is because of the goddamn patriarchy.
Well, the first thing is that it's always somebody with a kid. So I'm just trying to understand how the hell your punk ass got pregnant if some man didn't come over there, because we're going to assume that you didn't do the IVF and stuff. So why are you complaining how you get pregnant? That's what I'm trying to understand. But with all this running off at the mouth and talking and complaining, this is really one of the very few places that you are able to do that. Do that shit over there with Putin. That's what I want y'all to do. Or one of these other daggone places where you can't say shit, let alone be out here running off at the mouth 24 hours a damn day and don't even appreciate that on a damn on a damn app that's dumbing your ass down every single day more and more, and you don't want to realize it, and you're doing nothing but appealing yourself to a bunch of women that ain't doing nothing for you, ain't gonna do nothing for you except for sit up there and say, yes, sis, go, sis. That's it. And if that's what you want, then you have at it. Because I am black male identified. That's one of the other names that I am. Shout out to me. And then I have to correct them and say I am all male identified, because I don't have a problem with men. And you all, not y'all, need to maybe take a look into why it is that you really do hate a whole damn gender for no other reason than you hanging out with the wrong ones. Because another thing, another antidote that I was told when I was a child is that if you are the smartest person in your group, then you need a new group. So y'all dumbasses is hanging around with a bunch of dumbasses, and you the smartest dumbass and don't even realize that your dumbass need to move on. So you're going to stay in that dumbass situation around a bunch of people that ain't going to elevate you and take you nowhere, and then go blame it on somebody else when it's really you, because I'm tired of adults trying to act like they're not adults. Some decisions that you make are all yours. Those consequences are all yours. Take accountability for the shit that you chose to do. That's what I'm saying.
Exactly. And see, just to kind of veer this back into the conversation, about, anti-Black behavior, as they call us, I really, and I kind of want to pivot back to the conversation about, like Black Lives Matter and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
The issue that I find is that there will be a cause, right? There will be a cause that does need to be addressed. Mm-hmm. For instance, police brutality. There are people of all races getting brutalized by the police. They've gotten way too big for their britches. There are so many cases. It's a colorblind issue. But rather than focusing on the issue itself, it's like we have main character syndrome. We have to make it all about us. So even if there were white people that acknowledge that there were things wrong with the police and they were trying to get justice for their loved one who was brutalized by the police, mm-hmm. and then they go in, they try to have conversations with Black people that are fighting for the cause, and they're like, well they hurt us disproportionately. They disproportionately hurt us. And I believe that that's the reason why that movement never had any real legs, because we had a real issue, police brutality. We made it all about us, and then guess what? People who hated the police, right? For instance, a lot of trailer park people, a lot of, hillbillies, they don't like the police. But guess who they were riding for? Because we made it all about us, mm-hmm. and, made it a us versus them. So then they felt like they had to ride for their side. They felt like they had to pick for their skin tone, even though this was a colorblind issue. Police mm-hmm. fucking everybody up. Mm-hmm. So, I have a very big issue with these so-called pro-Blacks. They will take an issue that definitely does need to be addressed, and then they will fuck it up so badly to the point where we're not going to get any real justice for any of these things. We're not going to get any real progress for any of these things.
So as far as the oppressor is concerned, because that's what I call them, I'm gonna call the police, and I know that pros don't like that. I'm gonna call the police because, child, I pay taxes. I don't know what y'all do, but I pay taxes, and I'm not around here just to suffer and not make them work. They're gonna work, because if they work and pulling me over, you gonna work when I need you any other time. But
facts.
I believe that the oppressor does have issues. Lots of oppressors have issues, and I think the part that seriously needs to be addressed is like their psychological mind, with the things that they see, the things that they end up doing, the things that they see that other people doing. And I definitely think that there's a blue shield of whatever they code, or the blue shield or something, and they cover for each other. I absolutely believe that that's a thing. There's plenty of other organizations that do the same thing, and it is not right there, and it's not right with them. However, when people were pushing for them to be defunded, in my mind, I'm like, have them have psychological evaluations more often, or be made to go to see a therapist or psychiatrist for the shit that they see. Because just from, like, I was reading that story the other day, and I had to stop. It was some story about something that was going on with a 13-year-old, and the grandmother allowed it. And I only got through the first few lines of it, and I had to take a break because I can't even deal with that. Like, that's just one story that came up. There's a lot of stories that come up that we cover, and I don't like it. But some things just will get to me, and I can't do it. I just can't do it. So I scrapped the story. I said, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this. And that was just the one story right now after several months where I've not felt like that. If you are the oppressor, you're probably seeing some crazy ass shit on a daily basis. Is it an excuse? Absolutely not. However, maybe there should be more helping them than hindering them as an option. That's all I'm saying. And if that is, you need to not do this job anymore because you're crazy, you got to go. You got to go sit down, because sometimes that's what it is. We get too old sometimes to drive. Okay. We can't see. I don't know. Maybe the mind is not there. My grandmother had dementia, so there's things that she couldn't do, so she couldn't take care of herself. So if it gets to a point where this person is not appropriate and shouldn't be in this business and shouldn't be doing this no more, get them the fuck on up out of there. I don't know how you classify it. Like, listen, I ain't got all the solutions from that perspective, but I think it's more of they need more mental health help with what they deal with. And then when you watch body cam videos and the attitude of everyone, and the you not gonna tell me from everyone, and they know the law, even though they're right there breaking the law, and the spitting, you mentioned that earlier, which is one of the worst things ever in life, and the fighting back and the aggressiveness, it's a whole, I couldn't do it. I could never do it. Oh, I'm gonna call y'all though, but I could never do it. So I think that's probably a lot of their problems. Were they originally put into place to be slave catchers? Yeah, we know that. So if you've got someone that is a racist to the point that they can't be fair, or they're outwardly racist, then get rid of them. Then get rid of them. Put that type of stuff into place. If they sat there, I just saw a video, which I didn't get into, but I might talk about it. It was a black oppressor, and he's talking to a reporter to say that he's now resigned because he was caught on video body cam beating up a suspect, I guess, in the police room, whatever it's called. And he's saying on camera, turn the cameras off so that he could beat him up more. So I guess he thought the cameras was off. The cameras were not off. And I'm looking at this like mouth dropped open, like, what the F are you doing? He's black, and the person he's doing it to is black. So it's not even about color, y'all. And I'm not defending them. It was wrong. And he should have been fired and not allowed to retire. Okay. But that's an issue in my mind, being the oppressor. You got a God complex. You think you can tell everyone what to do. You think you're in charge of the whole world. You're not. Just enforce the effing law and bring in those that aren't, and then let the stupid judges make those decisions, because they're making some dumb decisions, but I digress on that. Let them do that. That's what I think.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And there was a case that I was reacting to like a week or so ago. Maybe it was longer than that. Time is just, I don't even know what day it is right now. But there was a case that I was reacting to where it was like this streamer and her boyfriend. They had 3 kids, and the one kid was deceased for over a month. Looking at when the police saw the body, they knew that the baby was probably gone for at least a month. And
I remember that. Yeah.
And so I was watching the body cam footage, and I was like, I couldn't do this job, because I would have brutalized her ass. I would have saw that baby, and I would have went ham. I would have gave her the Rodney King treatment. I would have whooped her ass so bad, and when the guy came, he would have got his ass whooped too. Like, I couldn't do that job. So I definitely hear you on the psychological element of it. And even if we're thinking about, the police that are working in these predominantly Black areas, and they're seeing the same things that, for instance, there's another YouTuber named Tyler Olive Oil is what I said, because I don't know how to say his last name. Tyler Olive Oil. And he goes into these different neighborhoods and he shows what's going on there. And it is just like every Black person is either strung out on drugs, covered in bullet hole wounds, or stab wounds. And it's absolutely insane. And so I can only imagine if I were a police officer working in these areas, and this is what I'm seeing, this is what I'm inundated with. And then not only that, you don't know what the police chief is telling you to do, because even in those videos, they were harassing Tyler for filming, but then there was like a whole slew of crackheads literally right there doing crack. And they were mad at him because he was filming, because he was, trying to do interviews. So even with that, there's a lot of, issues going on behind the scenes and with the higher ups in those situations. So it's like there are a lot of problems that do need to be addressed. Absolutely. But the fact that we want to have main character syndrome in order to be victims, in order to remain victimized, because it's like we feel like we have a power, or we can chin check people over being a victim. They think that that card is going to be able to be played forever. They can always just play the I'm a victim card and then find new ways to showcase, well, they're victimizing us here, well, they're victimizing us there. But that card is running out. People don't give a damn anymore. So now we have all these issues that still need to be fixed. But guess what? The moment you try to shine a light on it, oh, that's just that woke bullshit. Nobody wants to hear it. Nobody cares anymore. And it's like we shot ourselves in the foot because we wanted to make everything about race when certain things, regardless if it was disproportionate or not, I don't care. The problem is, it no longer a problem just because it happened to a white person because it's disproportionately happening to us. No, it's still a problem. And that's the same thing that I talked about earlier about principle. If you care about the principle of something, it doesn't matter who it's happening to. And so that's the critique that I would levy towards the white folks that want to get on here and deflect to Black crime whenever you mention anything about the crime going on in their community. Well, Black on Black, okay, well, remove the Black on Black crime. Guess what? You still had this problem that's right there. Still have your little sons going into the school and shooting up the kids. So that's my issue across the board with folks, is that nobody wants to stand on principle. It's like they only care about crime when they want to deflect to the other community.
Yes.
When you talk about us killing each other, us Black folks killing each other, well, they shoot up the schools. And then when you talk about, well, they shoot up the schools, well, the Black on Black crime, it's like y'all don't actually care about the crime. Because if you did, you would want to acknowledge the crime that's happening. Whenever we're having that conversation about the schools, you would want to acknowledge it, work on a solution. And then my fellow Black folks, when we bring up how we shoot and kill each other, we would want to work on that and solve that problem, not deflect to the opposite side.
Yeah, because that's not gonna change anything. And that's where the whole saying, but white people do it too, because it's like an excuse. And it's like, okay, but that doesn't help us, and that because we're the ones that are typically, because you just said it again, disproportionately. I'm so tired of hearing disproportionately affected child. I'm ready to put on a shirt, honestly, so I can just walk around with it all day long. Like, are we not going to get tired of this at any point in life, to be disproportionately affected by everything? They did that panel, not to be bringing that back up, when they did the panel just yesterday with Beavis or Butthead over there with Lapeef. That dude ran down the whole thing about we've been through slavery and Jim Crow and breadlining, and I'm like, what that got to do with what's going on right here, right now? I don't think so. You basically were saying that the ratchet behavior is due to all that, and I'm just like, we have to stop doing this and making these daggone excuses and go ahead and call out what needs to be called out. And if you're not, then don't.
This is amazing.
Then don't. But we don't have to go along with it, is what I am saying about it. If you want to go along with it, then you go along with it. But that don't mean that me, has to agree with you. But if you don't go along with it, then you're the problem from that perspective as well. You are the, white supremacist, the COON, and whatever the other names are, instead of saying, well, why is it that, you know what they're saying, that I want to appeal to white people? Child, any bestie in this chat that thinks that I appeal to white people, please raise your hand. If you think that I be up here trying to appeal to shout out to the white people. Listen, because we got plenty around here, okay? But if y'all think that that's what I'm doing, please raise your hand and let me know. Let me acknowledge TD Tellum. I appreciate you, honey. He said, I just got off a panel where a woman was saying marriage is modern day slavery. Terrible. What panel were you on? Let me know what panel you were on, and maybe I'll go back and take a look at it. But I can't ride with none of that. That's ridiculous. You know what, Hulk TV? Goodbye. Thank you, Fender. They just over here talking about, yeah, I do. You're so jackasses. Shout out to MABW up in here. Shout out to one of our faves. So this is the guy that's dealing with Kendrick Williams, also known as K Sleaze.
Yeah.
He said, passing through to show love. Big salute to you, Messy Michonne. Shout out to MABW. Everybody already know what to do. Shout out to you. Hopefully you had a great time on your vacation. Everything was looking amazing. You were in the Bahamas a week before I went to the Bahamas. That's the funny thing. Maybe we'll catch each other in the Caribbean one time. Shout out to you. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Shout out to everyone that has donated today. Appreciate you. Thank y'all for being here, especially on a Sunday night. I know it's football night, yeah. I'm sorry.
Absolutely. And then let me go through the supers that I got. So is it Zyfin Productions? You're gonna have to correct me if I said that wrong. I'm so sorry. You said you should make the ceiling bird deep your donation noise during the bonnet stream. I think he meant beep during the bonnet stream. Hope you two are having a wonderful night. So if we do the bonnet stream, we're gonna have to add that to the soundboard. So whenever people donate,
push the button, yeah. That would be fun. I want to get a bonnet that says like Gucci, Louis Vuitton, because I'm like, y'all know damn well them companies do not make these damn things. Y'all got that straight from Canal Street or the daggone local Chinese place. Please stop playing in our faces. And if they come through and they sue y'all, don't be mad.
Exactly. And then shout out to Divine Photos for the 199 super. You said, I never heard whites say that's anti-white. They gonna start saying it though.
Yeah,
they gonna start saying it.
Definitely.
If we keep doing it, they gonna start saying it. And like I said, a lot of these different talking points that I'm hearing from these so-called anti-black, the so-called pro-blacks, a lot of it sounds very anti-black because, the moment you get out here and you say, well, we can't do this because of that, we can't do that because of this, like you're just saying that black people are losers. That's what you're saying. You're saying black people are losers. We can't figure it out. But then in the same breath, you want to talk about black empowerment or black excellence. Mm-hmm. Okay, how are we so damn excellent if we can't figure out the system and make the system work for us? That's the part that I really try to hammer on when it comes to like my content is like, if you understand that we live under this so-called system, why aren't you learning how to make the system work for you?
That would be
why aren't you learning how to navigate the system so that you get the outcomes that you want? Why are you just saying, well, I'm a loser, and so I'm just going to sit over here and complain? I'm just like, no, anything in life, you're going to have to figure it out and do what you have to do. If you know that you have to move a certain way to get ahead, as long as you're not hurting anybody, go do that. Go put in the work. If you actually want something out of your life, then you have to put in the work to go get it. Don't just expect things to be handed to you.
That's the expectation for things to be handed to you, especially with Generation Z, except for the ones we know. Let me acknowledge Jay Gray. Thank you, honey. Said, here's 2 for your Gucci bonnet, Messy. Thank you. I'm going to definitely look for Gucci, Poochie, Poochie, or Lucci. But what do you think about Dr. Umar?
Oh, my God. That's I have a love-hate relationship with Dr. Umar because, he has some really good interviews, right? Like he has some really good interviews that were on, for instance, like the Breakfast Club. They are a hot mess, but he does have some really good interviews where he goes in talking about like the education system, how they misdiagnose Black boys at a rate, saying that they got all these different things, drugs, and how you can kind of navigate that system. And I really enjoy those interviews. But let me tell you the moment I said, oh, this nigga, I took the cap off for him. I was like, I'm done with this dude. I caught this while it was happening. This ninja went live in a goddamn casino.
I remember
donations. He was like, y'all, we gonna get this for the Marcus Garvey School of whatever the fuck. We gonna get this. We need to hit this jackpot. See, what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna take this $20 and we gonna get the money for the Marcus Garvey School. And he was literally taking the money that people were gonna donate to him to play it on the casino.
But the problem is, the question is, were they donating to him at that time?
He was still getting donations at that time.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So while he is an issue and a problem, in my opinion, the people that would sit there and see him be there at the casino and say, yeah, send me money so I can keep playing, and still donate money to him, They're enabling him, just like with the people on TikTok when they're begging and people give them money. So y'all are just gonna go ahead and do your thing, okay? You're not gonna get a dime from me. But yeah, I remember that, and that was half damn crazy. Like when he did that, I wasn't there live, but I remember I heard that he did that.
Yeah, it was absolutely insane. And I was so irritated with that because I like the idea of the school, right? I like the idea of the school where you had the teachers there and it was, curated for the Black students. It was a charter school. Like I liked that.
Mm-hmm.
But then, when it comes to actually getting it done, and it's like, well, you got all this money, and I'm sure you could have gotten Black people around that area that would have done the work pro bono, like electrical, plumbing, would have gotten it done. They would have gotten it done. All you had to do is put it under a nonprofit, give them some tax write-offs, and they would have happily done that for you. You mean to tell me you had access to all these resources, and that school still ain't built? And then relatively recently, it's on the auction. Like I'm done with you. I can't support anything you do. You a scammer.
Yeah, he didn't even have to have this school built. It was already a school. That's the thing. It was already a school. It just really needed to be renovated, which a lot of people don't realize that. It used to be called Moyer Academy because it's right down here in the area. And it's in the hood for sure. But, just do something with it. So you're telling me in all these years you haven't been able to have anything done, that you're still talking about painting? 10 years later, you just still talking about painting, and there still ain't no whatever them things are for the ceiling. The ceiling's still missing stuff up here. It's like, so y'all still want to go ahead and support this mess, right? So y'all's kids have gone, and probably had kids that they daggone own by now, and y'all still waiting for that thing to be built so that you can go there. And I do agree with you that he does have some good talking points and things to say, especially about the boys in school, because now that I have grandsons, my youngest is telling me that they are trying to act like there's something wrong with the youngest one. And I said, you kiss my ass. Don't you put that boy on nothing. You put him outside. You put him in a sport, you put him in an activity, you let him play, you let him run that energy off. Do not put him on anything. It is a freaking setup. And then that's going to be the trajectory of his life. And stop saying that there's something wrong with him just because they said that there's something wrong with him. And I don't have boys, so I don't know anything. But what I do know is you're not going to put this label on my grandson and then have him end up being one of those. There used to be a line when I was in high school or elementary of the people that lined up to take Ritalin. It was a effing line, and it was always Black people lined up to get their Ritalin so that they could just be zombies in the damn during the school day. So one, you're already on DRUGS. Two, you can't be possibly understanding and paying attention because you're so hazed so that you can be calm. And then now you got probably stronger things now. It was Ritalin then, so I don't know what it is now, if it's anything different. And then there's the teachers that don't give a damn about you, and teachers are quitting, and then they got to worry about everyone else, and then now they got to worry about protecting because of masses. Like, it's a lot to be going on right now that's worse than what it used to be. But the last thing that we need to be doing is going ahead and then putting them on these weapons, especially when it's boys, because what they do need is to allow that energy to be ran out of them. You cannot tell me anything different. Not every single person, but more so than not, in my opinion.
Absolutely. And see, this is an issue that I've had with education system in general. I do have a background in education, not my degree. My degree ain't got to do with education, but I have a background working in education, and kids, they don't all learn the same.
Correct.
So they will sit there and have one way. This is the one way you have to learn. And if you can't learn that one particular way, they kind of write you off, or they try to sedate you, like you said, with the drugs. And I'm just like, that's not conducive. Like, you're literally stifling their growth because you want them to sit there and be still. But that child is not meant to sit there and be still. They're meant to be moving their bodies while they're learning.
Especially a boy.
Especially. And so this is one of the reasons why I'm going to be homeschooling my kids, because ain't no way you're not going to be, stifling my kids' growth because they want to move their body while they learn. Get the fuck out of here. No, you're not going to come over here and tell me my kid has this, that, and the third whoop so you can get them on drugs. Absolutely not. So, when he would talk about those things, it resonated with me and I understood where he was coming from with that. But it's like, and I don't throw the baby out with the bathwater, but I won't be donating a damn thing to you because I can't trust you with the money to actually get things done. And the part that really pisses me off is that I've seen people do more with less.
Yes.
Okay. For instance, in New York, I believe it's in New York City, they have the Zayray Institute. Q Butter, he's on YouTube as well. He has a school and he teaches them science and technology. And guess what? He didn't have anywhere near. The funding or resources or access that a Dr. Umar has. And this is in New York City. So you mean to tell me that he's able to do all of this? They're having science fairs where the kids are out there, they're building things, robotics, all sorts of stuff. You mean to tell me he was able to do that with way less resources than you had?
Was he platformed on the Breakfast Club? Because I feel like they are part of the problem too, because they used to have
that. I don't think Q Butter has been on there. No,
that's what I'm saying. So like, I know who he is, but I didn't know he did all that. So props to him and shout out to him for that. These guys told me about King Randall did the same thing, opened a school somewhere, and if I'm not mistaken, y'all said that he built that from scratch, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm not really sure why Dr. Umar is having so many issues or whatever. At minimum, in my opinion, he could at least open us something so that he can talk to these parents like he does sometimes on these different platforms that he be on. Like call and ask him a question and what they could do. You could have set up an office in one of those buildings and had him come in and talk to the people locally and help out the community from that way. Because I do think that he can be smart with some things. I just don't think that
amazing.
I personally don't think that this school thing is working out in the best interest of said community. I'll just say it like that, allegedly. But I mean, I don't think he's going to lose it. I don't think he's going to lose it. I think he saved it. But if you're not moving forward, then what is the point? Just to have a building to say that you have a building,
Exactly. Yeah. And like I said, there are probably plenty of Black workers, Black people that know all these skills of the trade workers that could donate their time pro bono to get that school where it needs to be. But it's just like, what are we doing here? You can't help but feel scammed and duped if you've been paying money into this. And, and I have my issues with Tariq Nasheed, but at least when he said he was going to build the museum, even though it turned into a comedy joint, he still built the damn thing. Okay. It's up, it's running. You can literally go there right now and see it and go inside. At least when he said he was going to do something, it actually got done. But when you have somebody like a Dr. Umar who's been stringing us along for years and years and years and years, we still waiting for this damn school. Hell, at this point, you could have even did an online school at this point.
Something, exactly. I feel like he's too free to be able to sit still anyway. Me personally, looking at him and all the places he'd be gone, he'd be here, he'd be there, he'd be everywhere, all over the globe. Somebody got to be here to run the school. Somebody got to be here to be the principal of the school. You can't be all over creation. And I don't know if people are paying attention to that. If this school opens, he has to be here based on what he's saying. And I don't think he can sit still in order to do that. That is 8 months out of the year at minimum, 9 months, maybe 5 days a week, most weeks. That's a commitment. That's why I don't think it's not going to happen.
He's got too many conscious strippers he needs to go stay. He's got a bunch of conscious strippers and Sukiana. He's too busy running after them heifers to really put in that work for that school, and that's unfortunate. Shout out to Horizon Media Gaming. You said, I know my cousin Sandra did not do a collab with my auntie and didn't make a post to let me know. Wait, hold up, you're not gonna do me, okay? I posted about this several times, okay? And also, if you're in the Discord server, I posted the live stream in there as well. I've been announcing it during the last few live streams, so I don't know why you didn't know. I don't know why you didn't know, but we're glad that you're here. And thank you so much for the $19.99 super. And then shout out to MABW for the $20 super. You said y'all both cooking tonight. Good job and good topic. Big salute to you as well. And shout out to you because the things Kendra is doing to you right now is just so irritating.
Mm-hmm.
When I saw the story about your situation, I was so pissed. I was so done. I'm like, this heifer right here, and the fact that she's trying to take that case federal, I'm like, bitch, you've already lost. What, like, your lawyers need to be investigated, because I think they're finessing you to just keep getting a check. Yeah, we can do it. Let's take it federal. They know that federal check gonna be real good. They ain't gonna be able to get that money up out of you. A fool and their money is easily parted.
Yeah.
So it's insane to me. And honestly, I feel like at this point, you should be able to sue her ass for all of your lawyer fees. She should have to pay you for your lawyer fees for taking you back and forth to court. I really feel like she should be paying you back for all of your lawyer fees, because this is some nonsense. I can't stand broads like that, because it's like, you don't understand. You don't know what you're talking about. If it weren't for reactionary channels, nobody would know about your shit.
Correct.
The reason why people even tune in is because they saw somebody else reacting to it. I know that's how I found out who you were. And I lived in the Chicagoland area, and I listened to the radio. I still didn't know who the you were.
I said that. I said Kendra thinks she's a lot more popular than what she is. She is not as popular as people think. Here on YouTube, maybe on Instagram, but she's not as famous as she thinks that she is. I would agree with you completely on that.
It's insane. Like, the people who do know who you are, they know you for the most part because of reaction channels. There is a symbiotic relationship. So, whenever you have anybody reacting to your content, you should be grateful for it, because they're they're promoting you to a bigger audience, right? That would just be like me getting mad at you, or Do Better Podcast, or hell, even MTR, because he recently reacted to one of my videos. So it would be like me getting mad at y'all, when it's like, you put my name out there to more people. More people are able to find me because of it. So it's like,
that's awesome.
You're a greedy bitch. Like, you're just a greedy broad. And it's not even like you're not eating. She even said that in one of her videos about the topic. Well, they eating off of me. Well, if you're eating so good, why do you give a damn if somebody's eating off of you? Only a greedy bird brain individual would, only somebody with an oppressor mindset would feel that way. I don't care. I've had people make videos off of my video. They get more views than me. It doesn't bother me, because at the end of the day, I'm still getting that exposure. It's like, why do you have such a greedy mindset about it? Like, well, you can't react to, and the fact that she thinks because she put copy, because she because she added some Canva illustration copyright image over her shit, that it's now, oh, you can't use it. Bitch, are you slow?
That's exactly what it was. She went straight to Canva. Maybe she went to ChatGPT and got that and slapped it on there. And that was supposed to scare somebody. And that's why I was like, if your shit is really copywritten, as soon as you play it, like I did the Dr. Seuss thing, it straight came up. This is copywritten, and you're not going to get monetized, which I was like, I don't care, because it's too funny. I don't care about that. But she thinks that she's the savior of Black men. Shout out to you, sassy straights. And your lives would be nothing without her. But she can keep on messing around all she wants to. We'll see where it ends up. And good luck to MABW, as always. As always.
I look forward to hearing that she lost yet again at the federal level. I look forward to that. That's going to be a funny video. And so shout out to him for fighting back, because there are a lot of people that would just take the video down and they wouldn't fight back. I'm glad that he fought back, because that sets that precedent. Even though this precedent been set, right? It was like, I think H3 was one of the content creators that really fought again, even though he started trying to do the same thing. But it was like H3 and some other content creators a long time ago that fought for this, that fought for it to be extended to YouTube, so that we can react to different things and play different things. Hell, you have channels where their whole entire thing is to react to movies, and they insert clips in there. And you think that with your crusty dusty YouTube channel, okay, you think that, because I'm doing a comparison, you think that your crusty dusty chitlin circuit YouTube channel is somehow going to beat the odds when there are major production companies that have tried to take down videos from people like Alex Myers, and they get the door shut in their face. You think that your Chitlin Circuit channel is going to somehow beat the odds when these major corporations that do have ties, they can't even get around fair use?
I love the Chitlin Circuit. I'm gonna have to use that. I'm gonna let you know right now. Between that and the Monster Jam, shout out to Carlito is cold. Carlito too cold because he calls it the Monster Jam. And Chitlin Circuit is absolutely a great name as well. But I said a while ago, I said she won't get another view from me. They really have to be calling for something in order for her to get another view from me. I will review her through other people who have done reviews on her. She will not get another review from me. And I'm standing by that because I don't think she's doing anything positive. I don't think she's doing anything positive for Black women, Black people, and why they continue to go there looking for love from a person that ain't got none, ain't been married, ain't gonna be married, ain't got no kids, ain't gonna have none of them either, but still thinking that she gonna do something for them is half damn crazy to me. But y'all, like I always say, what do I know? Let me acknowledge Queen real quick, please. She said, thank you, Boo. She said, did I hear a bonnet stream? When and can I join? If so, I'm going to purchase Louis Vuitton or Gucci. Of course you can. Queen did her thing, which you did your thing on the Dee show. I'm so upset that I missed that and can't wait till the next one. I told her, I said, I'm clearing my schedule. I'm going to be there next time. It was good to see that we can be up there talking and not squawking and carrying on and fighting and screaming and all of that other crap that happens on all of these other panels. It's just a nice, calm conversation with a group of people. Like you and me one-on-one is one thing, but when you can get a whole group of, I think, like 6 or 7 people, and there's none of that, I think that is amazing. And shout out to Dee for doing that, and you all for participating and making that thing happen. And hopefully she does it sometime again real soon.
Yeah, I was thinking like if she did that like once a month, I would make sure I clear my schedule so I don't have to dip out halfway through and then come back. I would clear that time frame out right then and there because it was such a good stream. Everybody was vibing. We were having some really good conversations. The only thing missing was
I forgot I had a Christmas party, which after going to the Christmas party, it's like, yeah, I could have did the stream instead of go to this Christmas party, but that's okay. That's okay. I had a good time. I paid for it too, so I was like, all right, I'm not gonna miss that.
You know, get your money worth.
Yeah, and I did not. But shout out to y'all for holding it down though. Let me acknowledge Saint Fan. Thank you, Boo. He said, cue the song. Dr. Umar said, we got songs for everything, child. We got songs for everything. Shout out to Horizon Media Gaming. Thank you, Boo. He said, had to pull up and show support to my auntie Michonne and my cousin Sandra. Hey, Sandra. Shout out to Trey up in here. I see you, Boo. He said, my parents had me going to the Principal after lunch to take some DRUG to calm me down. I couldn't stay seated because I was very hyper. Well, I'm sure that you worked your way through it because you up here. Shout out to you and shout out to your parents. I appreciate you, Boo. Shout out to Jean Lay up in here. I appreciate you, hun. She said, Tim, for being late. Thank you so much, hun. I appreciate you. Shout out to all of y'all hanging in there on a Sunday night. Appreciate you. Shout out to my fave. He said, Kendra wig got knocked off and Kendra's wig got knocked in between the washer and the dryer. She got knocked at the Super Bowl. Wasn't it the Super Bowl? Her wig fell off. I don't know if you saw that. Oh, that was wild. I still got that picture. So if we ever need it, I can always bring it up.
Definitely. I'm going to have you guys to send that to me in an email. I might need that for a thumbnail or something.
And I'm not getting rid of it. Exactly. I'm not getting rid of it. Okay. Shout out to Hiram Speaks. Appreciate you, honey. Said I love watching intelligent women representing our people, talking about real subject matter. Shout out to Hiram up in the chat. He usually in the bushes. So thank you so much for your support and thank you for being here as always. Shout out to y'all that always support the content creators. Appreciate you. Thank you. Again, all views matter. The super chats are amazing. Trust me when I tell you, liking the video, watching the video are the most important things. And then of course subscribe. Now we care about what Pearly thinks, but because it's just cool to know that y'all are out here. There's a lot of people that subscribed that might not necessarily know, because I know I'm a you gotta kind of, you know, you either like me or you don't. It's really that. So for you to have MTR do your video, that's a credit to you. So shout out to you for that. One of the ways that I ended up getting a little bit more is because you just never know who's out there. Kwame Brown did one of mine, and then he shouted me out and everything. So that's the other thing. Oh yeah. That was a while ago, but that's the other thing that Kate Sleeves, Kendra Gilliams don't seem to understand. You just never know where it's going to go, where you're going to go with people who are reviewing you, and who will come through, and at what time. So I'm appreciative to those that watch in the shadows and everything, and those that do acknowledge ever so often. Shout out to y'all. I appreciate you. I completely understand, because, you know, I am something that is either like me or you don't. Shout out to I Spoke Him Up. Carlito is in the building. I appreciate you, hon. Look at that. We have both of them come through, MABW and Carlito. He says, shout out Bessie and Sandra. Y'all speaking the truth in here. Keep it going. Kendra Monster, JMG, and the Loser Sister Circle. Just mad the truth stings. I agree with you completely. Thank you so much. That's very generous of you. And everyone else, appreciate y'all for hanging in there. Make sure you hit the like button on both, subscribe to both. Shout out to everybody on both channels here. Make sure you come over to Sandra's channel and subscribe to her as well. Let me go ahead and acknowledge Max Jr. Praises. Thank you, hon. Shout out to you, sisters. You must be good. You got a super chat out of me. Laugh out loud. Oh, thank you so much. He said the ladies on Didi was so calm, I had to take a double take. Y'all make sure that you're subscribed to Didi as well, even though I know most of y'all are, so that when the next ladies talk is, that y'all will be there, be notified, and I will be on there. Praise the Lord. I can't wait to do that, because it's some great, they're all awesome. Some of them I've not heard of before, but most of them I heard of before. Carmen JC, I've watched her. You, of course, my girl, Gen Z, also known as Queen of Vibes over here, that's been supporting me for the longest time. One of the few Gen Zs that we like around here. So shout out to all of y'all in that show that Didi put together. Appreciate y'all.
Absolutely. You know, I want to continue to give you your flowers, because it's very rare that I come across a channel where I sit back and I just enjoy, and I agree, and I'm entertained, but then I'm also thinking, like, it's everything across the board. So, you know, if you are one of the people over here and you didn't know about Miss Messy Michonne, I'm gonna need you to go over there. Okay, it's lit. Okay, they got cookies. They got some cookies over there. It's always a good time, and there's always a good conversation. And when things need to get deep, or need to have a deep conversation, you know, it gets deep over there too. So it's a perfect blend of, you know, laugh, cry, be mad, be inspired. You know, I've seen even like your membership content. I've been gifted so many memberships that I was able to kind of go through the membership, and you have membership content that talks about like finances and, you know, all sorts of things. So definitely, if you are not over there, then what are you doing? What are you doing? Like, let's be so real. You got 24 hours in the day. I'm gonna need you to use your time wisely. Okay. So shout out to everyone. Thank you so much, Carlito, for the $20 super. Let me read it. Scroll up, because you know how like it just scrolls up for you. I'm needed to do that. Like, I'm trying to read here. He says, "Shout out to you, Sandra. You cooking they ass too. Keep it going." Thank you so much. He had enough. He was also Kendra Sleeves. She was also attacking him too, right?
Yep. But she seems to be focused on MABW. And the funny thing is that, Carlito, I have a video that you did that I want to get to on Kendra's, because like I said, I'm not doing it through her. I haven't had a chance to get to it. But he got his put back up and everything, and they slapped her hand, and then she's still coming for MABW for some reason. I mean, good, because Carlito don't need to, to be going through it, but it's like, she's got a hard on, and I hate to be so crass, for this man for some reason. I just don't understand.
She might like him. She might have some feelings like we might have to check her diary and see if she's got Mrs. Maybe W written all over her diary.
I believe he's together, so I understand. I think he's from Jamaica, so understand, girl. Just come out and say it, child. Just come on over with us. We like tethers around here, okay?
I'm just saying, like, the obsession is crazy. You know, if I were to file a lawsuit and I lose, I'm not filing another one. I'm just gonna take my L. And not only that, like you even a middle schooler with the basic understanding of YouTube would have been able to tell her that you have no case.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that those lawyers are fleecing you, I mean, I hope they get their bag. I hope they continue to drain your account because you're stupid and you're a hyena because you're behaving like a hyena. So I'm all for them draining your bank account by all means, but you should also have to pay restitution. You know, for MABW, if Carlito had to come out some money, she should have to pay them back because that's ridiculous. You know, it's insane to me. But we're the most educated, right? We're the most educated, but we're just so stupid we can't understand something like copyright, you know, something that even a small child can understand. Shout out to Hiram. Thank you so much that subscribed. Any friend of Messi is a friend of mine. Hey, shout out to you. Also, thank you so much, Horizon Media, for the $4.99 super. You said, I'm sorry, Sandra, I had to spin the block for the Chitlin Circuit comment. That's what I call it. That's what I call it. You know, it's the Chitlin Circuit. It's the Chitlin Circuit. Okay. Whenever you have a bunch of black folks and they just doing some low production together and they just, you know, hooting and hollering about some nonsense, it's the Chitlin Circuit. Okay. And then shout out to I Dodged the Trap. Hey, I'm glad you dodged the trap. Shout out to you for the $5 super. You said Kendra got prayer panties trying to get a kid from MABW.
What if she did? That's too funny. That is too funny. Shout out to Trap.
You have to be obsessed to continue to go after the man when you keep losing. Absolutely. And even if you look up fair use. And what's so crazy is I remember the live stream that she put out when she was talking about all this originally, how she was going to start going after people.
Yep.
And she was like, well, I don't like copyright. Well, bitch, it's the law. Nobody gives a good goddamn if you like it. I don't like.
Exactly. Exactly. It is what it is. But she's one of those, you're not going to tell me people. And then she's going to tell somebody else. So she's going to keep telling the law and she's going to keep losing, wasting money. I'm here for it only from the perspective of keep paying them lawyers who clearly, in my opinion, like you said, are not advising you appropriately. Shout out to them. Make that bag, as people say. 2.5 hours. Look at that. Not at all. It's like a girlfriend conversation. I appreciate you doing this. Let me just acknowledge Kofa in the building. He said, just subbed. Sandra, don't hold me against the messy. You be good. You be good. Let's make sure that we support her when she comes on as well. Shout out to my fave. Said Kendra Lace Fronts be on perpetual wig split mode. All right, Jay Gray. Y'all are crazy. I appreciate it. But yeah, thank you so much for having me. This was a great time, as I knew it would be. I love seeing younger women who have common sense and not falling for the BS and can actually be cool with other women, because y'all know I don't be fooling around with women like that, but when I find people that are intelligent and not half damn crazy, then I'm all for it. I support them. I'll be there when they need me, all that good stuff. So shout out to you for doing this, and thank you so much for having me. Mhm. Mhm. Yeah. Mhm. Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. Mhm. Mhm. Yeah. Right. Mhm. I hear you. Do y'all not hear her? Oh, what's that about? Yeah, this ain't. Well, can the people on your chat hear me? StreamYard. Let me close. Let me just close out. There's some technical difficulties. Not sure what's going on, but we will definitely make sure that we do this again. Sorry for the technical problems, but y'all, if you've been around StreamYard, be StreamYard, okay? So shout out to Sandra Faye for putting this together, and shout out to her family for allowing her to be here this long. Shout out to all of y'all. Make sure you hit all the like buttons. Make sure you subscribe to all the channels. Make sure y'all comment if you on replay. Make sure you hype these videos. We'll see you all in the next one.